All right, guys. Iran has just been struck over half an hour ago. We've got some of the scenes here from the aftermath of the strike. This is in Tehran. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right. It seems like they were targeting. First of all, Iran was struck by Israel first and foremost, and it seems like they were targeting the defense minister and the minister of defense's leadership positions. So before we get started, guys, hit that like and subscribe. I was just about to go to bed. I was actually listening to a podcast, actually about Iran. And as soon as I was about to turn it off, I go on Twitter and I see this. So hit that like and subscribe. I'm probably going to be up a little while. We'll see how things transpire. Hit the like and subscribe. Let's get this boosted in the algorithm. Thanks for coming, guys. Is the sound good? Give me a 1 in the chat if the sound sounds good. Let's go ahead and dive right into the action here. According to reports, Israel reportedly attempted to eliminate Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. According to a senior Israeli source, a large number of targeted assassinations are being carried out across Iran. Quote unquote, each missile had its own address, Ynet reports. Around 30 targets across Iran have been struck, including the Iranian president's residence and an intelligence headquarters. Now, if you rewind back to the 12-day war in 2025, it took Iran about 10 hours removed from the initial strike to actually retaliate back. Now, I anticipate Iran taking less time this time around. We may see an Iranian retaliation. Probably it may have happened already by now. We'll see. So let's see. Let's go ahead and see what's come up here. This is on the Glint app. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it's a real-time update. It gives you a real-time feed as to what's going on. So according to Israeli officials, the attack on Iran, we'll open it up here. The attack on Iran is a joint operation by Israel and the United States. U.S. airstrikes are underway in Iran, officials say. So here's another glimpse of the aftermath here. And it's looking like, to me, it looks like a decapitation strike or an attempted decapitation strike. This is supposedly the city block where the defense minister lives. It'd be like it's their Pete Hegseth, essentially. See what else we got here. This is what the sky over Israel looks like right now. The country's airspace has been closed. Meanwhile, a U.S. official said the strikes on Iran were carried out as part of a joint military operation by the U.S. and Israel. So airspace is closed over Israel. That's not a surprise there. They should expect the retaliation pretty soon, I would suspect. Things are moving fast. Live news from the Financial Times. Israel launches airstrikes on Iran. Let's see what the Financial Times has to say. Oh, well, I'm not paying for that. Let's go ahead and scan for signals. This is just happening. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin sold off on the news. As you can see here, this is when it happened. It was at 65,000, crashed, not crashed, but sold off to 63,000. So this is what oil was telling us. This is what gold and silver was telling us. The market sold off a lot today as well. S&P down 0.4%, Dow Jones down 1%, NASDAQ down 0.9%. Gold was up 1.8%. Silver was up 6.2%. And even the mining stocks, GDX up 1.17%, SIL up 1.2%. So we were given clues. The clues were all there. Oil, $67. Here's your chart oil. And much like we saw during the 12-day war right here, oil has gapped up above this resistance line right here. So let's see. Got some updates here. So here's an update from First Squawk. Dozens of targets have already been struck. Second wave underway. Okay, so first wave is done. Looks like there's going to be a second wave coming pretty soon by way of Israel and the United States. Presidential building and Minister of Intelligence among targets. Wow. Yeah, so they're going after the leadership guys. They're going for the decapitation strike right off the bat. Blast in Qom and Isfahan. Israel and Iran both shut their airspace. Israel declares a state of emergency. Reports Iran's supreme leader is not in Tehran and has been transferred to a secure location. Yeah, he's probably underground. When you guys have all seen the videos of all of these underground facilities that Iran has where they've got like all their missiles and God knows what else is down there. Yeah, right here. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, is not in Tehran. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so this is, oh, it's a Telegram thing. But so this is from the Geopolitics Prime Telegram. It says, we are preparing for 4 days of powerful combined strikes. Tehran will not look the same day after. So this is from an Israeli security source to the media. So they're looking to end this pretty quick. They're looking for the knockout punch early on. And they're not looking to take this to 8 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever. They're going for a first round knockout. More Telegram stuff. I don't have a Telegram. Communication and internet outages have begun in areas of Iran's capital. It is expected that internet service will be shut down across Iran within the next 24 hours. Yeah, so we may not even get any more footage if that's going to be the case or any new updates. Explosions confirmed to be in Isfahan. Oh, man, this stuff is just updating like wildfire. Bunch of Telegram links. So this is from Telegram as well. Israel has openly declared that the goal of its aggression is the overthrow and change of regime in Iran. Sanctions have failed. The Iranian Maidan has reportedly failed. The last year's war failed, and now there's another attempt to overthrow the Iranian regime through direct military aggression. Yeah. So talks didn't end quite well this week in Oman. We were scheduled to have more talks in, I believe, Geneva, or Vienna. But I don't think we're going to see any more talks from here on out. We were in the midst of talks during the start of the 12-day war last year, and the attacks happened then too. So these talks were pretty much just, and I don't think the Iranians fell for it. These talks were pretty much used as a means to lower the guards of the Iranians into a state of complacency. And it's also a means of, if you're going to strike first, you got some more video footage here? Go and check that. Well, let me finish my thought. If you're going to strike first, if it's going to be a big decapitating strike within 4 days time, then throughout the annals of history, or is it annals? Not annals of history, not annals. Annals of history, you want to be shown as having wanted dialogue first, especially if you're anticipating some big mass casualties and so forth. So let's go ahead and watch this. Can you watch this? Let's see. Oh, so here's a clip. Just, oh, where are the explosions though? I don't see any explosions. I don't hear any explosions. All right. So that was from China Daily. Explosions heard in the east, west of Tehran. Mehrabad airport targeted. I'm assuming that's the airport, and that's the main airport in Iran. Mobile phone services have been cut in parts of Tehran. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already. It is it's 2:14 in the morning here, so probably not going to get much sleep tonight. So hit that like button if you can to help support the channel. Subscribe too if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification as well. We may be going live as well tomorrow, so you don't want to miss another live stream. So hit the bell. I need some sleep. Hit the bell notification. Make sure it's set on always as well. Okay, so breaking: the Iranian president's office and the Supreme National Security Council building are alleged to have been targeted. I haven't seen any news about the president or the defense minister being a casualty in the hits, but I guess we'll find out if that's going to be the case or not. The entire Iranian regime, including Khamenei, was targeted in this morning's attack. Preparations are underway for the first 4 days of intensive joint strikes. The IDF promises that Tehran will look different tomorrow. It was also reported that Israel launched a massive shelling attack on Isfahan, the city home to one of Iran's nuclear centers. So apparently, they also targeted Khamenei. I thought initially it seemed like it was primarily they were targeting the defense minister and the president, but Khamenei was also part of the mix. Yeah, here's some more footage. Let's see. Is that laughing? Are they laughing or crying or being hysterical? So yeah, guys. I mean, they didn't wait until the market. They barely waited a few hours until the markets closed before they hit this strike. So they know the public has pretty much a goldfish memory span. So by the time the markets reopen on Monday, this will pretty much be normalized by then. But who knows? It all depends on how Iran retaliates. If they're going to retaliate proportionally, or will they escalate? In the previous uh, battle in the 12-day war, the Israelis and the U.S. had escalation dominance. So they sent over a B-2 bomber, for crying out loud, over Iran. So will they have escalation dominance again? I guess we'll have to wait and see. The buildings of the Iranian parliament. Oops. Let me finish reading. The buildings of the Iranian parliament, the Supreme Court, the office of Ayatollah Khamenei, and the other government facilities were reportedly attacked. The attacks are primarily carried out through the airspace of Syria and Iraq. Yeah, so it looks like Syria and Iraq let the missiles pass into Iranian airspace, which is no surprise. Israel does have a huge stake in southern Syria now, so see what's going on X. Mobile phone services targeted. Head of the National Security Committee in the Iranian parliament has begun the path. Okay, so head of the National Security Committee in the Iranian parliament is said Israel has begun a path whose end is not in its hands. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to be one and done with this in 4 days? Or is this going to be another Iraq war? I mean, you look back at the Iraq war, they were saying that this would take weeks, not months, and then it ended up taking years. So, yeah. So what do you guys think? Give me, how long do you guys think this is going to last? Drop me in the chat below. Let me know your thoughts. We'll take a little survey here. Do you think it'll actually last 4 days? Or will this be a protracted thing? And it also depends what weaponry Iran has. Maybe they do have a nuke. Who knows? mean, they have these vast underground facilities, and those can't be penetrated by radar. So what's this? Cruise missiles launched by Israel and the United States were spotted in the skies over Iraq. They then continued on towards Iran. Let's go ahead and take a look here. By the way, can you guys hear audio on these videos? Drop me, let me know in the chat if you can hear audio. Drop me a one in the chat if you can hear the audio in these videos. Hear the missiles. Oh, you can't hear audio. Okay. Well, let me adjust that. Let me remove and then stop screen. Do this. Okay. It should be on now. Let me know if you can hear it. Guys, missiles. This is over Iraq. Wild. What is this crap? Britain does not need a cover album. All right, who cares? They updated anything? This app is supposed to like update in real time all the big tweets and stuff coming out of Twitter or X and Telegram and everything else. Okay, Israeli N12 claims that the first phase will last for 4 days. Yeah, we covered that. So this is from Telegram from this guy here. He says, overthrow the regime, overthrow in any unclear situation. In addition to the open statement from Assad calling on Iranians to take their fate into their own hands and regain their freedom, the Bad Sabah app, which is used for prayers, was hacked. Each message begins with the phrase, help has arrived. Think about the day of judgment and accountability, and people sacrifice their country for the interest of the regime. For what and for whom? Only if you change your path and stand with the people will the people forgive you. For the liberation of Iran, brothers and sisters. So yeah, it seems like the CIA or the NSA or one of these Western agencies were able to hack into these apps in Iran and drop their messages in. Yeah, operation is expected to be 4 days long. Israeli Defense Minister Katz said the attack was a preemptive strike launched in order to remove threats to the state of Israel. So it seems like they went with the route of using Israel to attack first. And I think the plan here may be to goad Iran into attacking one of the ships, probably the Abe Lincoln off the Indian Ocean. And that'll be our Pearl Harbor, or not our, or just like our Lusitania, let's say, to elicit a response from the public. But again, if they're looking to end this in 4 days, then they won't need much public support because it'll be over before the public even realizes what happened. Okay, so this is Iranian official to Reuters. We are preparing a retaliation. The response will be devastating. All right. I'm going to try and cover it, guys. Hit that like button, though. I'm going to try and stay up as much as I can. Hit that like button. A new wave. So just now from Next to Live, a new wave of explosions has erupted in Iran. Dozens of strikes are being carried out by American attack aircrafts based at military facilities across the Middle East. So hold on. So these are, so is this the second wave of strikes, it seems? And they're being carried out by American attack aircrafts this time around. This video shows Israeli and U.S. cruise missiles in the skies over Iraq. So yeah, that's what we just saw. So what we saw just a few minutes ago over Iraq, those are American attack aircrafts. They then flew towards Iran. The operation is dubbed Yehuda Shield. U.S. officials say the attack will last 4 days. Well, how did they know? Why 4 days? That's very specific. Like you could say a week. Why can't you just say a week? Because that gives you a little 3-day cushion in case you're wrong. But 4 days is very specific. Let's see. Check on X. Pakistan denies the crash of one of its military aircrafts in Afghanistan. Oh, yeah, here's the other thing, too. Pakistan and Afghanistan are having their own little squabble, too, in the meantime. And as you guys know, I don't believe in coincidences. President Trump did talk about taking back Bagram Air Force Base from Afghanistan, and that was a week or so removed from the 12-day war. So Afghanistan is crucial for the calculus and the strategy as to how to play this thing out. Okay, Israel launched a second wave of airstrikes against Iran. Let's see what we got here. This is from China Daily. Oh, just a picture. All right, so it looks like it launched another wave of attacks through those aircrafts we just saw flying over Iraq. Yeah, it's these over here. Yeah, these are the American attack. Yeah, so let's see. Scanning for signals. I can't read Russian. So what is this saying? So quote unquote, it's from a Telegram account. Where's the air defense? Okay, what do you think Caliber is? What do you think Kinzhal is? These are systems designed to bypass AA. So is every U.S. stealth aircraft? So is the simple positioning of attack that bypassed Saudi Arabia's oil fields when they were hit? Air defense is not a video game unit that just magically activates and blocks all incoming. It is a Red Queen arms race in terms of AA capability and bypass, and always has been since the days of World War II. If you're wondering, why is the AA asleep or some such? Okay, hold on. I should know this, but I'm getting really tired. What does AA stand for, guys? Not Alcohol Anonymous, but let me know in the chat what AA stands for in this context. Oh, where'd the thing go? Oh, here it is. If you still don't get it, a flak vest does jack shit when a boot to your balls comes from behind. Anti-aircraft. Thank you. Jets are airborne above Tehran? What? They actually made it over Iranian airspace? Well, Iran's air defense isn't really anything to brag about. They did have those B-2 bombers that just blew up Fordo back in July or June. Okay, Iran is preparing for retaliatory action, promises it will be devastating. Reuters reports this, citing an Iranian official. Meanwhile, Iranian state media is broadcasting war songs. The main thing now is that the destroyer doesn't break. What did it mean by the destroyer? A roaring lion, Mossad calling. According to Western media, quote unquote, dozens of aircraft from the American carrier strike group joined the freedom celebration. The strikes continue, but before the American Israeli operation had even named Jewish Shield, yeah, so that's a translation of the Yehuda Shield. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu renamed it Lion's Roar, shifting the focus from defending. Goodness gracious. Oh my God. From defending Israel to regime change in Iran. So they've shifted from a defensive to an offensive position. Okay, it's not even letting me read this. All in support of Mossad's call. The symbolism is obvious. The lion and the sun symbol was officially banned in Iran after the revolution. This is the historical symbolism of the Shah's Iran. Today, the opposition is taken to the streets. Okay, so yeah, by renaming it from, so I guess they changed the name from Yehuda Shield to Roaring Lion. So this has become more of an offensive as opposed to a defensive strike, or an offensive narrative as opposed to a defensive narrative. Let's say. Iranian jets are airborne above Tehran. This is breaking now, 2 minutes ago. Breaking now, 2 minutes ago. Iranian jets over Tehran. Breaking news: Israel and the U.S. have launched. Goodness, news is just coming on super fast. Is there like a way I can stop this from refreshing? Oh, get out. Cyber attacks against Iranian government ministries and enterprises have been ongoing for 30 minutes. The most public attack so far led to the hacking of the official gazette of the Iranian government. So yeah, they're going for it, guys. This is the big one. Clickbait. Dude, we're striking Iran. You don't think this is an emergency alert? All right. You guys need to stop being babies. This is an emergency alert. This could trigger a regional war. Okay, breaking: the U.S. took part in an attack against Iran. Multiple reports from Israel Hayom and Reuters confirm American strikes were launched from regional bases in Iraq and Jordan. Witnesses report seeing jets over Mosul. Okay, from CBS. So CBS News is now just getting in on the action. Like all these mainstream news outlets, CBS, ABC, Fox, like they're so far. Like this is now an hour and a half in. Now they're getting in on it. This is why no one cares about them anymore. It's like X and Telegram. That's the place to be. That's it. Like wait around for CBS News to get the news like 2 hours later, once the entire thing is over and done with. All right, what do we got here? OPEC Plus to consider bigger hike after Iran strike, delegate says. Netanyahu considers this operation's name as lacking the real aura it deserves, so he thinks he renamed it to Roar of the Lion. Okay. Oh, Iran is. This is a tweet. Let's see. Iran is preparing retaliatory actions and promises they will be devastating. Reuters reports this, citing an Iranian official. Meanwhile, Iranian state media are broadcasting war songs. Now, the main thing is that the devastator doesn't break down. So, one translation was a destroyer. Another translation was a devastator. Let's see. This is what they're broadcasting. Let's go ahead and watch. Link. Someone drop a link to the Pax Gold chart. I saw one of you guys mention it. Drop it in the chat. I'll post it. We'll look at it here when I have a sec. But I don't have time to fiddle around looking for links right now. But just drop it in the chat. We'll open it up and we'll take a look at it. But thanks for the heads up. Yeah. So that was the thing that was running. Okay, breaking news. We have started an extensive military operation in Iran. We will destroy the threat from the cruel Iranian regime. Where's it go? Where'd it go? So, all right, that's just more. Israeli media claim that Iranian army commander. Oh, this is breaking news. Israeli media claim that Iranian army commander in chief Amir Hatami is already dead, but the information is verification. So, yeah. So it looks like we may have gotten the first casualty or the first high level casualty in all this. The Iranian army commander in chief. Trump announced that the U.S. has launched a large scale military operation against Iran. We are preparing for retaliatory actions. The response will be devastating. From the IRGC, the Iranian Guard Corps. Rumors that the Iranian defense minister was targeted in the initial strikes. It is unknown if he was martyred or not. This is from President Trump just now. Our goal is to protect the American people by destroying the threats from the Iranian regime. This is just now from President Trump. So you guys are saying Pax Gold is at 5,300 and 66? Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Yeah, so 53.66. Obviously, the gold market is closed right now, but Pax Gold is, I'm assuming, backed by gold. I don't know the full background in terms of Pax Gold, but I guess you can use it as a proxy for the gold price. So yeah, 53.66. What did we close out today? 52.78. So yeah, what is it? $70 move. What is this? An Iranian MiG-29 fighter jet has been spotted in the skies over Tehran. Yep, it's about to go down. Well, it's already gone down. It's about to go down. Man, it seems like they're enjoying this. Like, this guy was just laughing. The other video we were watching too with those girls taking that video of the explosion. I mean, they were laughing too. Let's see. Anything else? Nothing new coming. Okay. Israel said on Saturday that it launched airstrikes on targets in Iran. Yeah. You're just now getting it, Bloomberg? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Bloomberg, CBS, CNN, all these mainstream news outlets. Like, CapitalCosm is where it's at. mean, I was covering this stuff while they were asleep. Like, I'm like, what, 35 minutes in now. And they're just now getting in on the action. All right. Let's see. So we got some more news coming in. Iranian air defenses are active in multiple places throughout the country. What is this? Yep, that's the picture of the explosion. Bro, no one cares about communism right now. We've got like a regional war that's about to shoot oil to like $100 a barrel and completely engulf the Middle East in flames. All right, so holy crap. Oh my God. Where do I start? All right, breaking. Israel has launched a preemptive strike against Iran. Minister of Defense Israel Katz says, declaring a special state of emergency across the country. Several explosions were heard in Tehran. Let's go ahead and switch over to X. Dude, like, I don't care about the Bloomberg updates. They're so behind the ball. Washington Post, behind the ball. Bloomberg, behind the ball. Let's go ahead and see what's going on X. Type Iran, see what pops up. Actually, do top. Do latest. Oh, these are just comments from people. Breaking Trump says the U.S. military has begun major combat operations in Iran. Iran is developing, this is from President Trump, Iran is developing long range missiles that could threaten America and other countries. Trump says Iran missile industry will be totally obliterated. So they're going after not just the nuclear enrichment facilities, but also the ballistic missiles. Trump clearly messaging regime change in Iran. To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Oh, well, isn't that nice? All right, let's see. Any updates here? Entire news feed on the U.S.-Israeli war is available on, okay, advertisement. Russian officials increasingly consider there's no point to continue U.S.-led peace talks with Ukraine unless Kiev is willing to cede territory to reach a deal, according to people familiar with the negotiations. Funny this comes out now, given we were just negotiating with Iran and we just struck them mid-negotiations because we were planning on having negotiations with them in Vienna on Monday. The Russians may have just looked at this and said, they're just wasting our time. They're just buying time for something until they're ready to hit us. Okay. Oh, big news. Breaking news. Iranian media reports on the survival of the Ayatollah and the Iranian president. No further comments are given. Okay. So they're still alive. Let's see. Israel's defense minister says his country has attacked Iran and declares a state of emergency. Got some news coming out of Russia too now. Units of the 9th Motor Rifle Brigade of the 11th Army of the North group of troops carried out a decisive assault. As a result, the forces of the 13th Operational Purpose Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine were driven out of the settlement. So this just happened now, breaking. So it looks like Russia's taking the gloves off now. This is what's dangerous about this, guys. This could be a domino. This could lead to a chain reaction, an unintended chain reaction across not just the Middle East, but potentially global. So from President Trump, he says, our goal is to protect the American people by eliminating the immediate threats by the Iranian regime, a brutal group of very cruel, very terrible people, the US president said. Their menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our overseas bases, and our allies, according to the world, allies around the world. He said in an 8-minute message, for 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America, waged a relentless campaign of bloodshed and mass murder targeting the United States, our troops and innocent people, blah, blah, blah. All right. Oh, so here's a speech. Is this a video or is this a screenshot? Oh, let's watch the video.
It's from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. It's from the Iranian.
All right. Is there any more of that? Oh, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. Stay tuned. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Coffee. So I'm as caffeinated as possible for you guys. So, all right, guys. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification as well. We will be going live throughout the weekend talking about this. We may have a special guest pop in as well. Not confirmed yet, but you want to hit that bell notification and make sure it's set to always. All right, let's see what else we got here from, I guess, from President Trump. Yeah, where'd he go? They are a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the U.S., our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. Well, they're going to have to, they're going to have to finish this up quick because if this drags out, I mean, he's pretty much donezo for the midterms. Let's see here. Trump says, our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very dangerous, ruthless people, he notes. All right. See, this is another clip from the speech. It's the same one.
Group of from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world.
All right. Let's see. Anything else? Breaking news from CBS. Trump announces that the U.S. is engaged in major combat operations in Iran. Let's see. Anything else? So from President Trump, this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. Hmm. So yeah, we're waiting on the retaliation from Iran, guys. I mean, that's the key thing. Like, is Iran gonna strike back in a proportional manner, especially given the context of what we just heard from President Trump and all of these officials here talking about wanting to wrap this up in 4 days? That would imply a pretty devastating blow. That would imply that the U.S. and Israeli governments really bring the hammer down on Iran. So, with this in view, like if someone's you, I'm going to come over to your house and I'm going to pop a cap in your you know what, you're going to take that seriously. And when they actually show up to your house with the gun, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go and grab your own gun and get ready to scrap. So it'll be interesting to see if Iran responds proportionately or they escalate. Because remember, it's like with the Iran, with the initial 12-day war, they kept it fairly proportional. We'll see if this changes anything. Breaking news: Tehran prepares for retaliation. Iranian state TV also confirms President Pezeshkian is alive. So, seems like both the president and the Ayatollah are still alive. China Daily. What's the latest? Regarding Trump's claims about destroying Iran's missile program, this is easier said than done, as a significant portion of Iran's missile infrastructure is located in underground facilities. Yeah, this is what we talked about. And missile cities built into rock, which are essentially built to withstand bombardment. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of Iran's mountains, but they're literally huge. Like they are engulfing. And that's where they have like all these underground bases at. So they could be enriching underneath those mountains. There's no transparency there. So I mean, this is it's going to be pretty tough to wipe out. Let's see more clips from the Trump speech.
National security interests. We're going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated.
Totally, again, obliterated. So, wait, did we obliterate it first and then they quickly rebuilt it within 6 months' time? Is that how it went? Oh, this guy, the son of the Shah. I don't feel like reading all this, but I'll read it for you guys. Let's see. This is a video. Do I have to read all this? Let's see what he has to say. Oh my God, 3 minutes of this?
سرنوشت ساز پیش روی ماست. کمکی که رئیس جمهور ایالات متحده به مردم
Hold on. Let's see the translation. The assistance promised by President of the United States to the brave people of Iran has now arrived. This is this is from what's his name? Reza Pahlavi. This is the supposed this is who we want to install as the new leader of Iran. You know, should we overthrow the current leadership? This is the son of the Shah, by the way. And he says this is a humanitarian intervention, and its target is the Islamic Republic, its apparatus of repression, and its killing machine, not the country and the great nation of Iran. However, despite this assistance, the final victory will still be achieved by us. It is we, the nation of Iran, who will finish the job in this final struggle. The time to return to the streets is near. Be vigilant and ready so that the appropriate time, which I will inform you of precisely, you may return to the streets for the final action. We are very close to the final victory. I wish to be by your side as soon as possible so that together we can take back Iran and rebuild it. So yeah, this looks like to be it. I don't think there's going to be any what do you call it, ceasefire talks or timeouts like we saw last time. This one's for keeps. This one's going to be for keeps, guys. Let's see. What do we have on X? For those of you tuning in now, what is it, 3 a.m. now? You're just now waking up to the news. Israel has just struck Iran initially, followed by a second wave of attacks from U.S. attack planes. And they struck Tehran. They struck the neighborhood block of Tehran where the defense minister lives and a lot of the other leadership, including President Pezeshkian. Well, it seems they may have gotten the commander-in-chief of the army. That's not confirmed yet, but the Iranian government has confirmed the survival of both President Pezeshkian as well as Ayatollah Khamenei. So there's that. And now we've also heard that the jets, that the Iranian jets are moving over the skies of Tehran in retaliation and heading to presumably Israel to retaliate for the strikes. So that's where we are now. We're anticipating a retaliatory strike on Iran coming off the heels of 2 waves of attack from Israel and the United States. Let's see. Another video from President Trump. Oh, another screenshot. So Trump confirmed the U.S. began major combat operations in Iran a short time ago. In a video posted on Truth Social, he claimed that the U.S. will ensure Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. So I'm curious to see how you guys think. How do you guys think this is going to turn out? Do you think us Americans, do you think we'll be victorious? Do you think America and Israel will be victorious? Or do you think Iran will be victorious here? Or maybe we see another ceasefire? I don't think we see another ceasefire. I think they're pretty much going to throw everything they've got at this thing. And they've got to do it now, early, so they have enough lead time between now and the midterms to do any pivots that they've got to do until then. So it's got to be quick, it's got to be fast, it's got to be devastating, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? All right. During the day, the Houthis can be expected to announce the resumption of strikes on Israel and ships and vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman. Don't sleep on the Houthis, guys. They've been out of the scene for a good bit now, but it looks like they may be reactivated now, given that Iran has been struck. So they will be reactivating their missile strikes on Israel as well as the shipping vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. Embassy, this is breaking news, the U.S. Embassy in Bahrain imposes stay-at-home procedures on its employees until further notice. CBS News, the U.S. and Israel carried out military strikes on targets in Iran early Sunday afternoon. Early Sunday after President Trump threatened the Iranian regime for weeks to make a new deal. American private citizen Reza Pahlavi has come out with a new video. Yep, we just watched that. Yeah, and another thing to watch out for is the rest of the axis of resistance, including Hezbollah, the Houthis, and any pockets over there in Syria as well. They could be reactivated pretty soon too. Let's see. Anything new on X? Go here. Just refresh. All right. So tracking data from aviation services shows major parts of the Middle Eastern skies, including over Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, are virtually empty of commercial flights as airlines avoid the region due to rising security risks and airspace restrictions. So yeah, there's like one or two flights over Israel, a small pocket of flights over Jordan, one plane over Syria, no planes over Lebanon, one plane over here over the very southeast portion of Iraq. That's pretty much it. So see any news pop up here. Yeah, America is stepping up its biggest intervention in the commodity markets in decades to try to loosen China's grip. Look, guys, deglobalization is a thing. Everyone's scrambling to get commodities now. This is what we've been investing in this channel. If this is your first time tuning into this channel, we not only cover geopolitics, but we also cover finance and markets. And we've been covering the gold and silver market, but broadly speaking, the commodities market, because we anticipate a big capital rotation event away from broad market, crypto, growth stocks into real assets, into commodities, into resources, energy, minerals, metals, all of this stuff that you need to power AI data centers, to power civilization. And as the world begins to deglobalize, trade routes being fractured, this stuff is going to be, played for keeps, essentially. So China's going to try and gobble up as much as they can. US is trying to gobble up as much as they can. If you don't already follow the channel, consider following the channel. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, hit the bell notification too. Make sure that when you do hit the bell notification, set to always as well. Let's see. Any new news come in yet? So yeah, we're still waiting on the retaliatory strikes on from Iran. We'll see what they do. So where's everyone from, by the way? Like, are you guys mostly Europeans? Because I would presume like a lot of my American audience is probably asleep right now. Yeah, where you guys are you guys Americans? Are you British, Germans, Canadians, what have you? Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you guys are from. I want to get a good sense of who I'm talking to here. Okay, so we've got Australians, Californians, Germans, Texas, LA, Australia, North Carolina, New York, Tennessee, UK, America. Yeah, so it seems like surprisingly we have a lot of people in America watching. So a lot of West Coast folks, so it's not too late there. It's only midnight on a Friday night. From the moon, yeah. We might have to hightail it to the moon pretty soon, given the way things are progressing. Okay, so this is more footage on the strikes on Iran's territory. Let's see here.
وای
یا خدا
یا امام حسین
شهر موشکی جمع زیدن
شهر موشکی
They struck a mountain. I wonder what's in the mountain. It's probably a residence. You can see a little homes over right here. It's probably like a little village here that maybe some high level officials live.
یا خدا خدا یا خدا خدا وای
Trump says the bombs will fall everywhere. So this is going to be a large-scale military operation against Iran. The aim of the operation, according to him, is to protect the American people, blah, blah, blah. We already read that. They're silent. The Iranian government has yet to issue, so this is actually pretty big. This is a pretty good insight. The Iranian government has yet to issue an official statement regarding the attack. Currently, it's reported that the strikes on the Iranian capital targeted the following facilities: the Ministry of Intelligence, the Ministry of Defense, the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, the Parchin military complex. The strikes are also being carried out on other cities, including Qom near the capital, and Isfahan, the city home to one of Iran's nuclear centers. So they're taking out the military bases, or they're attempting to. Let's see. What is this? Okay, breaking news. IRG command to RIA Novosti. Iran will respond to the attack on its territories in the coming few hours. So I'll try to stay up as long as I can, guys. You see, I'm already starting to. What's that word called? When you like mix up your words? Not stutter. It's kind of ironic that I'm struggling with it. Slur. Yes, slur. Yeah, Iranian government has still not released an official statement regarding the attack so far. This is an ongoing happening which has been expected for months now. As with all happenings, misinformation, disinformation tends to be rife. So if you do find something we have posted, okay. So yeah, that's a good point. That's one thing to keep in mind, guys. We're in the fog of war. If you remember back at the start of the Ukraine war, I mean, what do they call it? Snake Island and the Ghost of Kiev, like all this stuff that turned out not to be true. This is what happens in this kind of situation. And now you're having all these hacks and attacks on Iran's internet and cyber security. So we've got to be very careful in terms of what we take as true. It says here, Bushehr and Chabahar were also targeted in the morning strikes. Bushehr is south and Chabahar all the way southeast, likely attacked by the U.S. Let's see. Anything from X? Just type Iran here. Maybe that'll filter out all the other noise. Okay, wow. Breaking news. Ballistic missile launches detected from Iran against Israel. The ballistic missiles are on their way. Now, if you recall, again, going back to the 12-day war, Iran lit it up. I mean, they weren't just sending one or two missiles. They were sending like 50 to 100 missiles across the skies at once. Iranian media, breaking news. Iranian media reports that they managed to shoot down 7 missiles that were targeting the presidential palace. And while they did not get all of them, it is likely that this is what saved the Iranian president from being assassinated. Okay, why is the Iranian president not in a bunker to begin with? Like, did you guys really believe that these negotiations were to be taken at face value? He's just sitting there in the presidential palace. Interesting. Iranian president was unharmed, according to the Iranian Mehr news agency. But where is he then? Maybe it's time to explain something to the people. So I guess they're insinuating that they're covering up his death or something. Well, this still has not refreshed. Let's see. Anything new? Yes, from Fox News. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, 8 minutes. I'm not going to watch. They're just going to reiterate what we just talked about. Okay, so first map of Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iran. So let's see what they hit. Okay, so they hit Karaj, Tehran, Isfahan, Hormozad, Kermanshah, and Bushehr. Bushehr. So it looks like they hit what 7 locate. Oh, and this one down here is Shabahar. Yeah, yeah. We still have the congressional vote later next week too. I wonder how that's. I mean, that's going to go as that's going to fly as well as a fart in church, right? So yeah, this is what they hit. So these are homes to nuclear facilities allegedly, and I guess military presence. Ballistics launched from Iran and Israel. At least 30 launches. Impact within 10 minutes. Minutes. Okay, wow. Ballistics launched from Iran. It took a while to register. Ballistics launched from Iran to Israel. At least 30 launches. Impact within 10 minutes. Okay, so this was posted a minute ago. So we got 9 more minutes to go. So we'll see what they hit in Israel. Shelters are opening in Israel. Red alerts across Israel right now. It says here, Batspa, an Iranian app for a calendar and prayer times, was reported to sending these messages translated in Persian to English. Okay, so they hacked into the prayer app. Iran launched missiles at Israel. Israel declared a ballistic threat. Preparations for Iranian retaliatory strikes had been underway for some time. So this is where the Gerald Ford comes into play. So they may be using the Gerald Ford as a means to keep Hezbollah at bay, as an intimidation means to keep Hamas at bay, while Israel does its thing with Iran, and maybe even aid Israel in intercepting somebody. I'm not sure. I believe everything on the Gerald Ford is offensive, as far as I know. But if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Yep. Breaking news, everyone. Iran launches retaliation against Israel. Iran has called on its citizens. Hold on. Iran has called on its citizens to leave countries hosting American military bases, all of which could potentially become targets for Iranian missile attacks. Yep. So that includes all these military bases across the Gulf states: Jordan, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, all of them. The alert level. So the alert level of all hospitals in Israel has been raised to the highest level after attacks in Iran, and hospitalized patients were transferred to shelters. The Israeli Health Ministry said in a statement, all non-urgent hospital activities have been canceled. Yep, so they're getting ready for it. says here the goal is to destroy the fleet while residents of Iran's southern provinces watch Tomahawks fly overhead. Strikes on the coast began. This is all in line with Trump's stated goal of destroying the Iranian Navy. The strikes targeted the port of Asolia. It is home to a gas export hub from the South Pars field and a large industrial cluster. Everything, of course, depends on the actual consequences of the strike. It's certainly possible that they'll limit themselves to hitting IRGC's 4th Naval Region headquarters and the missile boat base. But if they decide to destroy the economic component, it will devastate Iran's entire economy and trigger severe crisis. Well, Iran can close the Strait of Hormuz, and they don't even have to close it in its entirety. They could just make it uninsurable. They'll probably do it in a way where they will exempt Chinese vessels and Russian vessels from crossing it, but any Western vessels will be persona non grata, and no one will be able to insure these ships crossing the Straits of Hormuz. That'll keep all that oil in Qatar and in UAE and Saudi from traversing through that strait. So fill up your cars now. Well, maybe not now. It's 3 a.m. here, but fill them up early tomorrow morning. Oh, wow. Breaking news. Reports of explosions over Damascus. Israel may be trying to intercept Iranian missiles there. So, yeah, Israel does have a presence in Syria now, especially south of Damascus. And it is paying dividends now. Let's see. Do we have any more footage? Let's go back. Let's refresh Let's refresh X. See if there's anything new. Oh, we got some updates. Just heard it. Let's see. Red alert in Israel as Iran launches ballistic. So Iran's president is safe. Iran state media says. There he is in front of a bunch of bouquet of flowers. That's a weird picture to pick. It's like a bouquet of flowers you'd have at a funeral. Okay, let's see. Breaking news. Iran has launched ballistic missiles at Israel. Air raid sirens are sounding across the country. More than 30 missiles are reportedly incoming. People are being urged to move to bomb shelters. Meanwhile, Israel's health ministry has declared the highest level of alert. Several of the country's largest hospitals have announced a shift to underground operations. For example, Tel Aviv's Sorovsky Medical Center has opened its underground emergency hospital and began transferring patients and departments to fortified areas. Sensitive units are already operating in protected space, the hospital said. So these ballistic missiles should be hitting pretty soon. Okay, breaking news. Videos are starting to circulate about the Iranian missiles going over the Kurdistan areas towards Israel. So they're now over the Kurdistan areas, which is northern Syria, making their way to Israel. Confirmed. Network data shows Iran is now in the midst of a near total internet blackout, with national connectivity at 4% of ordinary levels. The incident comes amid U.S. and Israeli combat operations and matches measures used during last year's war with Israel. So, yeah, the internet is donezo, at least in Iran. From Bloomberg. I am not paying for this. Let's see anything else on X. Hit that like button, everyone. Make sure to get this pushed to as many people as possible. I don't know how many people are actually live streaming right now, but social appreciation for your boy, CapitalCosm, aka Danny, putting in the work. Hit that like button, subscribe as well, hit the bell notification. All right, let's see. Anything new? Looks like Netanyahu has put forth a speech. So let's see what he says. So this is from Netanyahu. My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, a short while ago. Is there a video here I can watch? No. All right. My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, a short while ago, Israel and the United States launched an operation to remove the existential threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran. I thank our great friend, President Donald Trump, for his historic leadership. For 47 years, the Ayatollah regime has called death to Israel, death to America. It has shed our blood, murdered many Americans, and slaughtered its own people. This murderous terrorist regime must not be allowed to arm itself with nuclear weapons that would enable it to threaten all of humanity. Our joint action will create the conditions for the brave Iranian people to take their destiny into their own hands. The time has come for all parts of the people of Iran, Persians, Kurds, Azerbaijanis, Baluch, and Ahwazis, to cast off the yoke of tyranny and bring about a free and peace-seeking Iran. I call on you, citizens of Israel, to follow the instructions of the Home Front Command in the coming days. During the Operation Roaring Lion, we will be required to show patience and inner strength. Together, we will stand together. We will fight together. We will ensure the eternity of Israel. So that's what Netanyahu just said. Any new updates on the ballistic missiles heading to Israel? See. Pax Gold. Let's take a look at Pax Gold. Whoa, Pax Gold just broke 5,400. 5,400. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not going to put you through the whole sponsorship plug, but if you do want to get in on buying your precious metals now before they actually rise on Monday, which I think they most likely will, not financial advice, but I think that's going to happen. You want to buy now before the spot price rises. I do have a special link in the description box for my good partners over at the Bullion Standard Pro. It's effectively a Costco type membership. You pay $35 a month and you get access to their wholesale pricing on gold. You know how you go into like these other dealerships and they'll mark up the price on your gold and silver. Well, with this, you buy it at what the dealer buys it at. But all you got to do is spend $35 a month, and you'll end up saving way more than the $35. It basically pays for itself. The link is down below in the description box if you're interested. So that's the pitch for now. Let's go ahead and dive right into the news. All right. Oh, breaking news. 2 Iranian ballistic missiles were intercepted above northern Israel with no impact reported. No other ballistic missiles are currently inbound for Israel at this time. I thought there were 30. Didn't they say there were 30? Latest on U.S.-Israel strikes against Iran. The IDF identified missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is in good health. Mer News Agency reported. Several Iranian news agencies and platforms have been targeted by cyber attacks. And have been disrupted, Fars News Agency reported. Tehran is preparing retaliation after the attack, with the response set to be crushing, a crushing response. So yeah, it's got to be more than 2 ballistic missiles. Oh, snap. Breaking news, Iranian missile impact in Israel. Breaking news again, Iran has cut off the internet. The internet has been cut off in Iran by the Iranian government. So we won't be getting any new footage by way of Iran. And I think they lost their Starlink card because they tried using Starlink about a month ago during the uprising, and Iran was basically able to kind of use a judo move against that. And anyone using the Starlink connection was pretty much kind of like lighting themselves up on radar. So they identified everyone using it. So I don't think they're going to be able to use Starlink like they did before. So we'll see. Breaking news: new wave of ballistic missile launches from Iran against Israel. Yeah, I thought that had already happened. Let's see. While that's loading, anything else come off Twitter? Why do I keep calling it Twitter tonight? X. Any new development? Yeah, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman watching us bomb Iran. Yep, there you go. Who benefits? Oh, still looking. Pax Gold 54.11. Yeah, it's continuing to rise. You'll see the all-time high here was around 5,600. So we may hit an all-time high on Pax Gold before the weekend's over. Hell, maybe before the night's over. Iran has launched ballistic missiles at Israel. Nothing new here. So we're just sitting here waiting for the next shoe to drop. Pax Gold 54.14, continuing to move up on higher. Air raid alert in Israel. Ballistic threat. They're expecting several dozen missiles launched from Iran. The U.S. and Israel have launched. Oh, yep. We've already gone through that. The internet has now been cut off completely in Iran. Man, this is starting to slow down. Pax Gold 54.15. Gold continuing to move up on higher, at least with respect to Pax Gold. Thomas Massey posted this an hour ago. act of war unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is attacking Iran. So he was supposed to bring in a War Resolution Act this past week. It looks like it's going to be next week, but the attack has already been authorized without Congress. So we'll see what happens there. Wild horses crossing a river in Iran. Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. That is pretty cool, though. All right. This thing finished loading. Wow. Looks like it's crashed. So for those of you tuning in now, about an hour and a half ago, we saw the first initial strikes of the U.S.-Israel joint strike on Iran, hitting a number of sites across the country, namely Tehran, Isfahan, and several others across the country that house military sites, homes of leadership. One of the attempted assassinations was that of the president of Iran, President Pezeshkian. Seems like he's alive, according to the Iranian government, but they did hit their targets. But there doesn't appear to be any casualties yet, although it was rumored that the army commander-in-chief may have been one of the casualties in this strike. That has yet to be confirmed. As a result, Iran has cut off the internet. It has launched 30 some odd ballistic missiles on their way to Israel, making their way to Israel right now. Israel has shot down apparently 2 of those missiles. So we are still awaiting the vast majority and bulk of that retaliatory strike on Israel. Israel has began to evacuate its citizens into shelters, including hospitals that have begun to evacuate as well. So, and as you can see here, this little glint.trade tool we're using is pretty much frozen up, which is supposed to be here to update in real time, so I don't have to constantly refresh. But it looks like everyone's on it now. So if you guys are getting value out of this show, out of this live stream, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification as well, so you don't miss another one of these live streams, possibly tomorrow and on Sunday. Looks like we'll just have to settle with going to X directly. Let's see. Doesn't appear to be any new developments just yet. Pax Gold at 54.16. As expected, during times like this, the metals, namely gold, silver, platinum, all get bid up. Oil got bid up today as well, up 2.78%. Yeah, this thing looks donezo. You know what? Let's take a look at Bitcoin while that's loading. Yeah, so as you guys can see here, Bitcoin sold off from 65.5 down to a low of 63,000. We saw a little bit of a dead cat bounce. Now it's going back down again. So gold up, Bitcoin down. But I thought Bitcoin was supposed to be a crisis hedge and then inflation hedge and all that other stuff. It's not acting like one. It's acting like a risk-on asset. Are you guys buying Bitcoin now? Let me know. Are you buyers at this level? Or are you buying gold? Are you buying silver? Are you buying, I guess, energy assets, energy stocks? Okay, it looks like it's finally loaded. Oh, snap. Breaking news, missiles launched from Yemen. The Houthis are back. Breaking news just now, sirens at the U.S. naval base in Bahrain. Looks like it's about to get got. Missile warnings in Israel. Ballistic missile launches from Yemen reported Ansarallah, just like last time, has joined the conflict on Iran's side. And this is why what I anticipate the Gerald Ford is for over in the Mediterranean, because you've got the Gerald Ford in the Mediterranean, and then you've got the Abe Lincoln in the Indian Ocean, a good arm's length away from the coast of Iran, because as Iran alluded to, they do have anti-ship missiles that can take down ships, or at the very minimum, at least damage the runway on these aircraft carriers, pretty much rendering them useless. So the Gerald Ford on the Mediterranean Sea, that's there to defend Israel from any attacks from Yemen, to intercept Yemen, and to keep Hezbollah at bay in southern Lebanon. Man, everything is so slow. Let's see what, I don't follow this account, but Iran Monitor. Let's see what the Iran Monitor is posting. It's all late stuff, 31 minutes ago. Iranian parliament speaker, a firm response is coming. Okay, live updates. Let's see. Lebanon's prime minister said, this is breaking news. We won't accept anyone to drag our country into an adventure. So I assume he's referring to Hezbollah. Gallego says war in Iran has not been justified to the American people. Tens of ballistic missiles fired towards Israel. Sirens are now heard in Jordanian capital Amman, which is home to U.S. military bases. Operation Epic Fury, is that what they're calling it now? Is that different from Roaring Lion? I don't know what this says. Breaking news, alerts expanding near Jerusalem right now. Oh, snap. Breaking news, impact in Tel Aviv. An Iranian missile has landed in Galilee, Israel. So it's begun. Breaking news, confirmed impact in Galilee, Israel. Massive alerts north and center. I'm assuming that's North Israel and Central Israel. Breaking news, red alerts across central northern Israel. Ballistic missiles inbound. Breaking news again, explosions in Tehran. Guys, it's blowing up. I feel like a play-by-play guy, like a radio play-by-play guy right now. Impact in Tel Aviv. Missiles have launched from Yemen. So now you've got missiles from Yemen, missiles by way of Iran. We'll see if any other members of the Axis join from either Lebanon or Syria. Sirens have expanded. In Iran, the internet has been completely shut down. Breaking news, another volley was launched towards the state of Israel. You are requested to continue to obey the directives. So this is, I guess, from Israel. So yeah, this is what I guess the Israeli citizens are. Okay, so this is from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, and they say another volley was launched towards Israel. You are requested to continue to obey the directives of the Home Front Command and the directives that are distributed to you. You must remain in a protected space until an official announcement on the matter. The IDF spokesman, where'd he go? Emphasizes not to publish and share locations and documentations of vulnerabilities. The air defense, goodness gracious. Now it's updating like fury. So yeah, they're telling their citizens not to post pictures, videos, so as to not give intelligence to Iran, which is what they did last time during the 12-day war. Taking videos was not permitted. Interceptions. Okay, breaking news. Interceptions above Jordan now. Okay, so one person says, this is from the Middle East Spectator, I'm in Jordan currently and can hear many interceptions. Damn. So it's going down. They're shooting down the missiles from Jordan. Oh my goodness. Confirmed impact in Galilee. Another wave of Iran's missiles is heading towards Israel. Homefront Command urges all citizens, all residents to remain near protected spaces immediately. Dang, it's going down, guys. So to kind of recap while this is loading, oh, that didn't take long. Yeah, this is the Netanyahu address. He does not look like he's in good health. Oh, crap. Breaking news. U.S. Israeli airstrike against the Tehran airbase moments ago. So another strike, a new wave of red alerts across northern Israel, new barrage of Iranian ballistic missiles inbound. Sirens once again sounding across all of Israel as more ballistics are expected. So yeah, it seems like the first wave of missiles are just now making their way to Israel. Oh, gotta log in through a QR code. What a hassle. Let's see. Anything new on X? Stay tuned, guys. The first barrage of Iranian missiles have just now landed in Israel. Okay, smoke after landing near Tel Aviv. Several missiles were shot down over Syrian territory. The main Iranian missile strike is expected in the evening or at night. At least that's how Iran operated during the 2025 war. So you're still in the morning over there. So we probably won't see the big guns come out until maybe 12 hours from now. Large barrage from Shiraz, Iran. Breaking news, Ansarallah, otherwise known as the Houthis, announced they will begin attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Go fill up your tanks, guys. They're gonna shoot down all these ships at the Red Sea. They're gonna close the Straits of Hormuz. If they can't shut this down in 4 days like they plan to, good luck with inflation. Oh, okay. So now we're still witnessing the first wave of Iranian missile attacks. Now they're saying there's another wave of Iranian missile U.S. Israeli arrivals in the south and east of Tehran. Wait, hold on. Another wave of U.S. Israeli arrivals. Okay, it's the other way around. U.S. and Israel just shot another wave into the south and east of Tehran. Multiple explosions heard. Major explosions heard in Israel. Breaking news. So explosions in Israel, explosions in Tehran. Breaking news. Israeli Home Front Command. Dozens of rockets on their way to U.S. I'm assuming the military bases. Explosions heard in Israel. Okay, so this says Interbellum News has spoken to a source within the Israeli military who stated that the current operation had been planned for weeks and was closely coordinated with the United States. According to the source, the strikes were carefully constructed in advance, with predefined operational phases and target sets agreed upon prior to execution. Reports suggesting prior U.S.-Israeli coordination had already been circulating in international media earlier today, describing the operation as deliberate, pre-planned, rather than a spontaneous response. The source further indicated that nuclear negotiations earlier this week were not expected to succeed and were viewed internally as unlikely to produce a breakthrough. These statements reflect the account of a single Israeli military source. Independent confirmation remains limited as the situation continues to develop. So if this is true, it pretty much means this back and forth talk in Oman with nuclear, peace talks and all this other stuff, this is all just a waste of time. They're all just buying time to get everything in place. And it's pretty telegraphed. I mean, you can see the U.S. getting all of its military buildup in place. It's pretty in your face. So I would think Iranian intelligence has probably seen through this and just played along with it. But who knows? And this is probably why now Russia's making a big move in Ukraine as we speak, into northern Ukraine. Well, who's to say they're not doing the same thing with Russia, wasting Russia's time with peace negotiations and all this other junk while Europe arms itself? Massive explosions being heard all the way from Amman, Jordan, to Jerusalem. Breaking news, Shahed drone launches from Iran towards Israel. So they've unleashed the Shahed drones. These are the same drones that they used, that Russia used in Ukraine. These are the suicide drones. A column of smoke rose in Tel Aviv after the arrival. Also, Iran announces launch of a third wave of missiles towards Israel. Okay, so now we're on the third wave of missiles towards Israel from Iran. The American embassy in Jordan urges its citizens not to travel to Jordan. What is this? More missile alerts across northern and southern Israel. Across northern and southern Israel. Just say all of Israel. For 47 years, the Ayatollah regime has cried death to Israel, death to America. It spilled our blood, murdered many Americans, and slaughtered. Who's saying this? Oh, it's from Netanyahu. Yeah, we already read this speech. Okay, so the United States has named this operation in Iran Epic Fury. Wow. Oh my goodness. The Houthis have now announced that they will resume attacks on ships in the Red Sea starting today. This officially marks the Houthis' entry into the war. Now we'll see how Iran's proxy operate in Iraq. Sirens in Bahrain. Third wave of, okay, so Iran has reported to launch a third wave of missiles 15 minutes ago. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to be another tit for tat, guys. I think this is it. It's not going to be, oh, you send 10 here, we send 10 here, you send 15, we'll send 16, you send 17, we'll send 18. I don't think that's how it's going to go. So Zhirinovsky said, after the strike on Iran, oil will cost $200 a barrel. The Chinese economy will not withstand it, and millions of refugees will flood into Russia. Oh, so Zhirinovsky said this. Stop predicting. Oh, Zhirinovsky. So he was like they call him like the Nostradamus of Russia. He passed away a couple of years back, but he pretty much predicted the Ukraine war, like in 2019, and he also predicted that the U.S. would eventually strike Iran, and he made a bunch of other predictions that ended up coming true too. But he was always kind of flamboyant, a little over the top, but he was always right. And one of the big predictions that he made that once the U.S. attacked Iran, that oil would reach $200 a barrel, and that this would essentially crash the Chinese economy. Sirens are in Jerusalem. Initial reports of explosions in Manama, the capital of Bahrain. Oh, snap. It sounds like they got a military base in Bahrain. Guys, I think this is going to be it for America's presence in the Middle East. I think all these bases are going to be up in flames. Whether America's successful or not, the cost will be all these bases are pretty much gone. Okay, breaking news. U.S.-Israeli airstrikes against Bushehr, Iran, the location of a Russian-run nuclear power plant. So now there's a tie-in with Russia here. The UK MTO announced that it is aware of significant military activity in the Arabian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, the Northern Arabian Sea, and the Strait of Hormuz, and advised ships to proceed with caution and report any suspicious activity. Dude, if I was someone driving a ship right now, I would not be trying to cross these bodies of water. You got to be out of your mind. Yeah, no shit. Proceed with caution. How about don't proceed at all? A cruise missile flew over Iran. Iranian media reported the destruction of several residential buildings and serious civilian casualties. Okay, so this says pirates of the Straits of Hormuz. The threat of Iran's use of a mosquito fleet. Strikes against the Iranian fleet are especially symbolic in the context of the IRGC's Navy previously announced plans to form a naval component of the besieged forces, mobilizing tens of thousands of civilian vessels with the goal of operating as far as the coast of Tanzania. The concept has certain rationale. If, say, thousands of such mosquito fleets were deployed off the coast of Oman, even without serious armament, this would make it possible to physically block the Strait of Hormuz. So they could block it with a fleet of drones. Moreover, piracy could be used to seize vessels, even from neutral countries, so that they would be more vocally advocate for peace in the region. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I actually clicked on that. And an end to the U.S. Israeli operations. Of course, you can keep up with each of the tens of thousands of boats, but such a strategy, where is it? Even a mosquito fleet requires a lot of fuel. If the Iranians lose their fuel depots and other essential coastal infrastructure, they won't be able to wage a long-term war at sea. Furthermore, the further from Iran's shores, the thinner the mosquito fleet will be and the less effective it'll be. Even the IRGC's missile boats will find it nearly impossible to raid the open Arabian Sea. The U.S. has too many aircrafts. So if Tehran really wants to splash out and significantly impact global shipping, it needs to start now. Opportunities for this will become fewer and fewer. So yeah, so if Iran's going to start blocking off the Straits of Hormuz, it's probably going to start now, like a minute ago. So we should be starting to see that happen now. Pakistan is at war with Afghanistan now. Pakistan says it killed more than 300 Afghan forces in days-long airstrikes inside Afghanistan. Now, earlier today, one of the, I guess, leadership members of Afghanistan, of the Taliban, said, well, we're not enemies with Israel, something to that effect, paraphrasing. And it's very interesting, the timing of this. So, and remember, at the very tail end of the 12-day war last year, about a week or so removed, President Trump announced that we needed to take back Bagram Air Force Base. One of the reasons being probably is that Afghanistan is, very strategically located next to Iran, and Pakistan is an ally to Iran. So, and it's the next on the chopping block should Iran fall. Pakistan does have nuclear weapons. So Pakistan probably sees this as existential as well, because if Iran falls, then next in line is probably Pakistan. And yeah, I mean, this could spiral out of control, guys. You've got Pakistan and Afghanistan now going at it. You could start some stuff with the Gulf states. I think the plan there, I think what the Western forces are attempting to do is to spark a Sunni Shia civil war. For those of you that don't know, Iran is a Shia Muslim country. The Gulf states are Sunni Muslim countries. And there's animosity between the two sects. And so it's not that hard to stir the pot if if Iran is allowed to strike into the Gulf states and it's seen as some sort of travesty or an attack on the Sunni countries. This is classic, playing two sides off against each other. So that's something to watch out for. But this thing could spiral out of control. It already looks like Russia's making its move on Ukraine now. Um, China may make its move on Taiwan now. That's something to keep an eye on. Breaking news: U.S. bases in Qatar and Bahrain under Iranian missile attack 2 minutes ago. U.S. naval base in Bahrain was struck by an Iranian ballistic missile. Yeah, they're going to liquidate all these military bases. Iranian missiles fell down on Tel Aviv suburbs. New video. Where's that? New video out of Halan confirms direct hits from Iranian strike. At least 20 buses have been destroyed. The source filming the aftermath claims. The attack comes less than an hour after the IDF announced it was seizing all operational buses during Shabbat for military logistics. U.S. All right, where are we at now? Okay, American Boeing KC-135R Stratotanker refueler have begun departing from Ben Gurion Airport. CBS is just now reporting on the strikes. Are you serious? Like, get with the news. U.S. Embassy in Qatar issues a duck and cover warning to all citizens in the country. Oh, all citizens. Okay, breaking news. Iranian TV announced the start of Operation True Promise 4. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is under attack. U.S. Naval Base in Bahrain also under attack. Iran struck the American Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. It was also hit during the last war. The Qatari Defense Ministry announced that it has intercepted 3 Iranian missiles. The rest hit their targets. So this one guy on Telegram said someone messaged me from the UAE saying he heard a loud explosive sound. Oh Lord. Yeah, I hope my friend Simon Hunt is safe. He's over there in Dubai. I was telling him, man, you might want to get out of Dubai. I hope he's I hope he's gonna be okay. Breaking news: massive squadron of Israeli jets heading into Iran, currently over Palmyra, eastern Syria. At least 20 plus jets. Please don't be construction. Please don't be construction. Please don't be construction. I think he's alluding to the fact that the last strikes from Iran to Israel during True Promise 3 over the 12-day war suspiciously hit a lot of construction sites in Israel. So for those of you that think this is all theater, that's a very interesting data point. Zelensky stated that he would be happy to accept nuclear weapons from the UK and France. Yeah, the world is descending into chaos. It's a free-for-all now. Oh, snap. Emirati airspace has been shut down. The UAE's airspace has been shut down. Okay, let's see here. Here's some footage. Well, no, it's just a picture. Here's a picture of the facilities in. Here's a smoke plume. Can't really see how much damage was done, but apparently this was hit last time as well. Bad day to sleep a bit more. Yeah, probably not going to get any sleep tonight. What is this? Reports of bombings at the Karizak detention center in southern Iran. Breaking. Iranian television announces the start of Operation True Promise 4. Breaking news, all U.S. military installations in the Gulf have been targeted by Iranian missiles. Now, smoke rising. Let's see, do we have any footage? Nope. Smoke has been seen rising from Bahrain's Jufair area, which houses U.S. Navy base. Jufair, a district in Manama, Bahrain, hosts naval support activity. Bahrain, the main U.S. Navy base in the Persian Gulf. It's home to the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command and the U.S. Fifth Fleet, serving as a key logistics and operations hub for the U.S. coalition naval missions across the Gulf, Red Sea, and Arabian Sea. The base supports warships with maintenance, berthing, and supply services. See, what's interesting, guys, about these bases is that they were able to hit them pretty effortlessly. Like there wasn't any air defense. Wonder why that is. Let's see, X. Flights have been delayed. Oh, wow, you think? Oh, some Dubai flights have been delayed. I would not fly. I would not fly if I was in Dubai. I would cancel my flight. And I would go duck and cover, like the government says. So yeah, to kind of recap it all for you guys. Oops, looks like we got something. We got some footage here. Let's see. American and Israeli jets are heading to bomb Iran. Let's see here.
3 4 5 6 هناك 7 ياي شباب 2 4 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 وغاد 7 20 طيارة والله العظيم.
There they are, little dots in the sky. All right, let's see. U.S. airstrikes against Iran's naval base in Bandar Abbas, southern Iran. What has happened so far? Joint strikes, the clash report. You don't need a clash report. You just need CapitalCosm. The CapitalCosm Iran war live stream. We're covering all this as it happens. And that's why you need to hit like. That's why you need to subscribe, so you don't miss another one of these live streams. Oh, Pax Gold. Let's take a look at that. 54.32 right now. It just keeps inching higher. So it's PLXG USD. Is that it? PLXG. I don't know. I'm not going to tinker around with it too much now. But what's Bitcoin at? 63,000 still. Breaking news. Explosions in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Okay, so Israel's initial strike was to kill as many Iranian leaders as possible. The calculation was to hit senior Iranian officials in the first round of strikes, achieving at least some degree of surprise, the New York Times reports, citing Israeli sources. But it doesn't seem like they killed anyone. They may have killed the commander-in-chief of the army, but that's not confirmed yet. Sirens in UAE, Kuwait, Israel, etc. Explosions heard above Amman, Jordan. More explosions heard over Bahrain. Man, the updates are just unrelenting. Qatar. Okay, so Qatar has intercepted 2 Iranian missiles over its country. Qatar official said. It is clear that Iran is following on its promise of attacking regional allies or the USA. So, yeah, they're taking out the military bases. U.S. Tomahawk operating over Tehran. Explosions in Abu Dhabi. Explosions heard in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Strike on the U.S. Navy base in Bahrain. Yeah, it's getting lit. See, let's check out X. See if there's any updates there. Yeah, so just to recap, guys, Iran has simultaneously fired ballistic missiles, not just to Israel, but also Qatar and Bahrain and the UAE. Oh, oh my goodness. Breaking news, initial reports of Iranian missiles targeting the USS Lincoln. So that is one of the aircraft carriers. That's the one in the Indian Ocean. So it seems like Iran has begun targeting the aircraft carrier, the USS Lincoln. if they're able to sink, and not even sink, maybe just even do damage to the runway of the USS Lincoln, that'll be a huge face loss for the United States. Nonstop air raid sirens reported in Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE as Iran continues firing ballistic missiles at U.S. bases in the Gulf. Yep, they are targeting all U.S. assets in the Middle East. Yeah, so it looks like Iran is looking to do some damage to the Lincoln. The question is, was it put there on purpose for that reason? Was it put there to get sunk? Is it another Lusitania? And will they use this as the rallying cry to get public support for this war? What do you guys think? But again, they say they want to get this done and wrapped up in 4 days. So would they even need public support by then? I mean, this would imply that they'd have this thing wrapped up by Tuesday, which I don't know if that's going to be the case. Uh-oh. Breaking news. Initial reports of explosions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The capital of Saudi Arabia has been targeted. I was just about to say, it seems like they've spared Saudi, but that is not the case. U.S. airstrike struck an air defense base in Avaz, Iran. Reuters from Bahraini sources, smoke rising from the Jufair area in Bahrain, which houses a U.S. naval base. Yeah, the Saudi one is huge, guys, because over the last couple of years, it seems like Saudi and Iran were making a headway into peace talks between the two nations. Both were admitted into BRICS. China had brought the two countries together 2 or 3 years ago, and it seemed like they were making headway. But we'll see the nature of this strike. We'll see if it's just like an American military base. It's probably just an American military base, but that's still a pretty big red line to cross into the Saudi airspace. Or maybe they there was an understanding between the two that we're going to launch some missiles into your airspace and destroy the military base. Maybe Saudi was in on it. Maybe they were okay with it. There's so much fog of war here. I know it's cliche. Everyone says, oh, the fog of war, the fog of war. But it's true. Just because it's a cliche doesn't make it untrue. Sirens continue to activate across Israel under ballistic missile threat. Explosions heard in Jordan. Three Jordanian so this is from a guy on Telegram, Mediterranean man. 3 Jordanian subscribers tell me that their windows just shook somewhere in Oman. A missile fell. Interceptions above Abu Dhabi. Bahrain news agency. The service center of the 5th Fleet was subjected to a missile attack. Bahrain news agency reports the service center of the 5th Fleet was subjected to a missile attack. Iran is attacking U.S. assets in Jordan. Alarms in Jerusalem and the surrounding area. So far, all launches have become Iranian territory. Israel and the U.S. are now attacking Iraq. Interesting. Seems like they've got here's Iranian allies or proxies or axis of resistance guys in Iraq that they want to take care of. Look at ABC News now. Like, breaking news 3 hours later, Iranian Ministry of Interior condemned the joint attack by the U.S. and Israel, saying, okay, so this is relatively new. So this is from the Iranian Minister of Interior. And he said the criminal enemy has once again violated all international laws and during negotiations, once again violated our beloved homeland. Here's the picture of the initial strike. Jordan has been attacked. Okay, so let's see what this guy has to say. Iranian strike on Qatar. The Iranian retaliatory attack on American targets in the region was not long in coming. The Al Udeid military base in Qatar was hit by ballistic missiles. According to statements from the Qatari Defense Ministry, only 3 missiles were shot down, while the rest hit their targets. However, the extent of the damage remains unclear. The airbase was normally home to reconnaissance aircraft, but the RC-135 was deployed to Suda, Crete, a couple of days ago. At the time of the strike, there were 5 KC-135 tankers. Uh-oh. Where'd he go? 2 HC-130J and 4 MC-130J special operations aircrafts there. And it is possible that they were hit. So it looks like they got some of the tankers and aircrafts. Okay, so the multiple hits confirmed are right now the U.S. Naval Support Facility in Bahrain, the air base in Abu Dhabi, the American base in Kuwait, and Israel. So they're not just singling out Israel this time around like they did last time. They're going after pretty much the entire Gulf as well. Now it says here, summary. By this hour, the Iranians have attacked Israel, Bahrain, the UAE, as well as Qatar and Kuwait. Meanwhile, the U.S. announced that it had named its operations against Iran Epic Fury. The video shows the strike on an American base in Bahrain, a key U.S. ally in the Persian Gulf. Oh my gosh. How long have we been going? 2 hours and 20 minutes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep going as long as I can. But I'm just going to need you. I'll keep going. But all you got to do is just hit that like button. That's all I ask in return. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification too. So when I do go live, most likely tomorrow and the day after, you get notified for these live streams. Sirens in Tel Aviv. China said U.S. claims that it was carrying out nuclear tests were baseless, accusing Washington of being the main cause of uncertainty over the global nuclear order, according to a statement. This is just now. The head of the judicial ministry of Iran is also confirmed to be safe after his residence and workplace were part of the U.S.-Israeli strike package. Israel is striking Iraqi militias and their assets across western Iraq. Explosions in Tel Aviv. More explosions in Jerusalem. Oh, okay. Let's watch the video here. This is the video of the attack on the Bahrain airbase. Let's see.
Missile threat warning. Missile threat warning. Missile threat warning. Enclosure shelter immediately. Shelter in place. Missile threat warning. Enclosure shelter immediately. Shelter in place. Missile threat warning. Enclosure.
There it is. What's gold at now? 54.55 Pax Gold. I'm telling you guys, we're going to hit an all-time high in, at least in Pax Gold, possibly by this morning, by dawn. Israeli military says it's currently conducting a large-scale attack on a series of military targets in western Iran. Moment of reported Iranian strikes on U.S. naval base in Bahrain. Reports of smoke rising from Al Darfa airbase in the UAE. I'm presuming that's the one in Abu Dhabi. I don't know what this says. Let's go ahead and refresh X, see what everyone's talking about. Doesn't look like it's updated to the most recent stuff. Okay, breaking news. Iran's IRGC reports that it has launched missiles and drones towards Israel in response to recent blah, blah, blah. Senior Iranian official also states that all U.S. and Israeli assets in the region are now legitimate targets, signaling a major intensification of regional hostilities. So yeah, guys, this is not going to be another tit for tat thing. Oh, what's this? This in Iran or what? Let's see.
Ya Allah. 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 La ilaha illa ant. La ilaha illa ant. La.
So I think that's Iran, but that's probably the initial strike, I'm presuming. Renewed bombing of U.S. assets in Bahrain. So they're hitting the Bahrain base even more so now. Trump deliberated on Iran for weeks as massive and ongoing operation comes with acknowledgement. You guys are saying that was footage from Kuwait that we just witnessed? Trump deliberated on Iran for weeks. His massive and ongoing operation comes with acknowledgement U.S. lives could be lost. So, yeah, I mean, this entire thing, ordeal with the negotiations, and Kushner and Witkoff were urging Trump to seek negotiation, but Lindsey Graham was against it. Like, this is all just a charade. They had to make Witkoff and Kushner seem to be the rational ones, to be the diplomatic ones, because they were the ones negotiating with Iran. So they had to make it seem like there was a fighting chance of a deal to come through. But at the end of the day, this was no different than the deal that they were trying to conjure up right before the 12-day war. It's all a psyop. It's all a psyop. All right. Israeli Air Force says it's what? PMF installation of Baghdad bombed. Multiple dead and wounded. So they took down some. What is this else? Get out of here. New explosions are reported in Tel Aviv and the Riyadh area. Israel and the United States, and in turn are attacking Iranian air defense sites in the western part of the country in an apparent effort to limit Iran's ability to comprehensively counter airstrikes. Oh, snap. 54.90, well, 54.89 Pax Gold. Gold is knocking at the doorstep of 5,500. Canada urges its citizens not to travel to Saudi Arabia and provides an emergency evacuation number. Like, dude, come on. You need the government to tell you not to travel into a war zone, then they should probably just let you travel. Just let you win the Darwinian Award. Come on. Do not put your hand on hot stove. Iran's Supreme National Security Council, the government of Iran's Republic of Iran, has made arrangements to meet all societal needs, and there is no concern regarding the supply of essential goods. Schools and universities will remain closed until further notice. Banks will continue providing services. Hold on, guys. 1 second, guys. So, U.S. troop presence in countries new under threat. Okay, never mind. We're good. U.S. troop presence in countries now under threat. As the confrontation expands, several countries have reported strikes or incoming missiles host substantial U.S. military deployments. The scale of personnel involved underscores the broader strategic risk. Qatar? Okay, so here's a break. This is pretty cool. Qatar has 8 to 10,000 U.S. personnel. Bahrain, 8,000 to 8,500 personnel. Home of the U.S.'s Navy's 5th Fleet. Where'd it go? Okay. UAE, 5,000 personnel. Kuwait, 14,000 personnel. Iraq, 2,500 personnel. In total, tens of thousands of American servicemen and women are stationed across these states, with several bases reportedly targeted or under threat amid retaliatory campaign. The strategic and human stakes of further escalation are significant. The Ukrainian armed forces are firing multiple rocket launchers towards Belgorod. In the Belgorod region, several missiles have been reported shot down. Incidentally, now is an excellent time to strike central Kiev or anywhere in Ukraine for that matter. Yeah, now is the time to make your moves, because it seems like this will not be another tit for tat patty cake ordeal. And so, if you're Russia, if you're Ukraine, if you're China, you've been waiting to make a move on your respective conflicts. Now's the time. More impacts in Israel, it seems. Haifa, Abu Dhabi. Sirens sound at Victoria Base near Baghdad International Airport. Unconfirmed reports of the targeting of Mawafek, Salti base in Jordan. Breaking news, IDF recruits 70,000 reservists. More sirens in Haifa. Okay, so let's see what this person, never mind. Bahrain also got hit. It seems Tehran is finally demonstrating its willingness to go all out as a part of a retaliatory strike. Missiles are flying not only at Israel, but also Qatar and other countries in the region. Several hits were recorded in Manama, the capital of Bahrain. According to preliminary reports, the Iranian attack hit the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet headquarters complex. However, the American ships had been withdrawn from the base a couple of days before the operation. And it's highly likely that the headquarters itself was also empty. And the personnel could have been in shelter at the time of the strike. And yet the strike is also symbolic in that predominantly Shia Bahrain has, if not a fraternal or friendly attitude towards Iran, then at least a neutral one. Tehran seems to be showing that it has nothing to lose and is ready to bomb everything. In Iran's current situation, this strategy is understandable, influencing regional countries to make them more vocal in their calls for peace and in opposing the U.S. and Israeli operation in the right approach. The problem is that, as with pirate mosquito fleet, everything will be limited by Iran's available resources. If the missiles quickly run out and the launchers are destroyed, the Iranians will not be able to create the desired effect. So Bahrain is a neutral party in all this, and it is nonetheless getting the brunt of the action. So this is a symbolic strike on Iran that it's pretty much taking the gloves off. And it's pretty much telling Bahrain, you got to pick a side here. If not, then you've got skin in the game here. IDF issues warning for people in Iran near military bases. Iran's Supreme National Security Council says the enemy believes that the steadfast Iranian nation will surrender to its petty demands through cowardly measures. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran have begun a decisive response to these hostile actions and will keep the dear people continuously informed. Israeli military spokesperson issues an evacuation warning for all residents near military installations in Iran. Looks like we've got another. Did we just watch this? I think we did. The Israeli Air Force is currently carrying out a large-scale strike against a number of military targets belonging to the Islamic regime in Iran, the IDF said. So they're hitting the military bases in Iran right now. U.S.-Israeli airstrikes against missile launchers in Tabriz, northwest Iran. American base Al-Dhafra in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. So, yep. So I think we're all caught up. So yeah, Iran is not singling out Israel this time around. It's hitting all of these Gulf countries' military bases, although Saudi is yet to be confirmed. Uh-oh. Israel has launched a new wave of strikes against the regime targets in western Iran. Says CNN, the Israeli army's announcement came approximately 3.5 hours after Israel and the U.S. launched their first strikes in Iran. 4 American bases were attacked simultaneously by several ballistic missile attacks. Yep, we already know all that. Iranian missiles in the UAE. It was expected that the Israeli strike on Iran would provoke a retaliatory response with U.S. targets. Hold on. With U.S. targets across the Middle East under attack. Specifically, in addition to Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain, Iranian ballistic missiles also hit Al Jafra Air Base in the UAE. No damage is yet known, but footage of UAE air defense in action is gradually emerging. What could have been hit? Al Jafra Air Base is home to a large U.S. Air Force contingent led by the 380th Expeditionary Wing, as well as the infrastructure for receiving and servicing various types of Allied aircraft. The base has runways, shelters, technical areas, service fighters, attack aircrafts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's got all this stuff here. So what's the gist of it? Overall, given the number of forces the U.S. military has amassed before the operation, it is reasonable to assume that Al Jafra is one of the key logistical hubs used by the U.S. military, used by the Americans. However, it is also likely quite protected. Therefore, it is quite possible that all reports of an Iranian strike on the facility will ultimately be limited to just photos of air defenses in action. So the UAE base that they struck was supposedly one of the bigger bases. Powerful explosions are heard in the Qatari capital, Doha. The reports came shortly after the country's defense ministry that all missiles launched from Iran have been intercepted. All missiles launched from Iran have been intercepted. So not a single one hit Qatar. What is this? So here's where things stand. Iran has struck U.S. forces in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE. Bahrain has confirmed that the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet was targeted in a missile attack. Qatar's Ministry of Defense stated that an Iranian missile intercepted by the Patriot air defense system. Reuters reported a powerful explosion in the UAE, capital Abu Dhabi. Qatar, Kuwait, Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE have closed their airspace. Earlier, Iran's IRGC confirmed that it had launched missiles and drones towards Israel in response to U.S.-Israeli airstrikes. So, yeah, all that airspace closed off. Okay, this one's a long one. Strikes on Saudi Arabia. There are also reports of explosions in the Riyadh area of Saudi Arabia. It is unclear whether these are the result of strikes by Iran or the Houthis, or whether air defenses are intercepting missiles headed towards Israel and in Jordan. However, the Prince Sultan Air Base is located near the capital. This facility is currently one of the key ones in the context of the deployment of American aircraft in the Middle East. Before the attack, 6 E-3 AWACS aircraft, 5 E-11A airborne communications relay hubs, 24 F-16 fighters, and refueling aircrafts were concentrated there. An attack on this facility, if indeed there is one, it's entirely logical. And for the Saudis, this is not the most pleasant option, as the kingdom has vigorously denied participating in the American operation against Iran, as with Bahrain. If Iran has decided to go all in, then this fits into the general logic within which the Persian Gulf countries could begin to demand an end to the war from Iran. So Iran is basically, it's basically giving these guys a choice. It's putting skin in the game for them. They're not just going to sit on the side and watch the intercept Iranian missiles and let Israeli and U.S. missiles just pass on freely. If there is going to be a solution to this, they're going to be part of the solution. That's basically what Iran is aiming to achieve here. Okay, so by the way, today is the 35th anniversary of the end of the first Gulf War. We are witnessing the third Gulf War right now. Explosions heard in Saudi Arabia. So what do you guys think is going to happen with these Gulf countries? How do you think they're going to respond to Iran bombing their U.S. military bases? Drop me your thoughts in the comments. Simultaneous explosions reported in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Initial reports of a rocket falling in Ashkelon. Breaking reports of explosions in Riyadh. So it's come to Riyadh now. I guess it's confirmed. Panic in the streets of Abu Dhabi. Attack on Parchin base in Iran. More interceptions across Emirati skies. Iran is still trying to bomb something on Emirati soil. So yeah, it's trying to take out that base. Iran has attacked the Mawafik al-Salti military base in Jordan. A military base near Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was also attacked. The Iranian Foreign Ministry officially confirmed that any military base in any country used to attack Iran is the legitimate military target, and there are no restrictions. Iran is targeting the King Salman base in Saudi Arabia. It is located on a 45 square kilometer site in southwest Riyadh. Breaking news: 6 U.S. Air Force aerial refuelers have departed Tel Aviv Ben Gurion Airport. 2 of them are already heading towards Iran's directions. Interestingly enough, Oman is the only non-targeted Gulf country so far. So, if you recall, the negotiations were held in Oman because Oman has set itself up as kind of like the Switzerland of the Middle East. It's a neutral state. So I guess this is a thank you on the part of Iran for hosting the negotiations. You guys are saying Pax Gold at 55.41. I told you guys. Pax Gold's probably going to hit 5,600 by the end of the night, which is a new all-time high. Which if you want to buy now, while spot is still at, I don't know, 52.50 or whatever it is, then check out my link in the description box below and get your prices at wholesale spot. All right, breaking: multiple impacts confirmed in Abu Dhabi. Okay, so this is from the, where is it from? Spokesman of the General Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces. The work has just started, and problems have already begun, have been created for the base of the Zionist regime. So this is the first phase in the retaliation, it seems, on the part of Iran. Breaking. Kuwait has shut its national airspace too, following the UAE. New alerts in northern Israel. Airlines are gunning it out in Israel? Oh, are gunning it out of Israel. I thought they were like fighting it out in the skies. The ghost of Kiev has returned, made his return. New explosions have been heard in the UAE now. Prepare for what is coming. Iran warns Israel as its missiles target multiple sites. Iran warned of open-ended retaliation after joint U.S.-Israel strikes as missiles target Israel and U.S. assets in Bahrain, Kuwait, and the Gulf. Oh, arrivals in the Dubai Marina area. There are casualties. Oh, hold on. There are casualties. Okay, breaking news. There are casualties among the American soldiers in Bahrain. Uh-oh. I think that's the first confirmation of casualties so far on the American side. Okay, the Iranian General Staff announces that it will attack any country that helps Israel. The military base of any country assisting Israel will become a target of Iran's strikes. Iran is also targeting the Prince Sultan base near the closed city of Al-Kharj, Saudi Arabia. The closure of railways in Israel. Iran surprising us all with a very strong opening response. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they are going full out and making some big hits in the early stages. Yeah, they're not messing around this time. Like I said earlier, they're not going to let these Gulf countries just let the double standards rise where they intercept Iran's missiles and then the U.S. and Israel's missiles just go scot free. So I think they've taken the gloves off. Video shows, yeah, we just watched this a few moments ago. No planes in Israel, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE. Sirens again in Israel. I mean, when did they stop? I mean, I would presume sirens would be ongoing for the next week in both Iran and Israel. Breaking news, Iranian ballistic missiles have targeted Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. IRGC bases in Sanandaj and Damavand, Tehran, were struck by U.S. cruise missiles. Tomahawk cruise missiles over Iran. More alert in Jerusalem. Oh, we've got some situation following the explosion in Abu Dhabi. Let's see what's going on in Abu Dhabi. We've got some footage here. Let's check this out. Yeah, so there's that. Do we have any more footage we can look at? Yep, we just saw that. Loud bang heard near Dubai's Marina neighborhood. Yep, we talked about that. Let's see if this thing is updated. What is Pax Gold at? 55.10. All right. Cruise missiles over Iraq. New strikes are also reported in Israel. IRGC and Basij bases have been attacked. Israeli PM Netanyahu says joint attack with U.S. was to remove existential threat posed by Iran and by Iran. Cruise missiles over Iraq. Yep, we talked about that. Okay, so what's this guy's take here? They miscalculated, but where? The plan to overthrow the Iranian regime is half baked. As Prince Turkasky emphasizes, to put it mildly, essentially the Americans decided to follow the same scenario as in the summer, but on a larger scale, intending to achieve a change of power by force. However, that summer, this plan failed. The Israelis were banking on the incompetent Reza Pahlavi, who is neither respected nor in demand, even in Iran. Then U.S. airstrikes, which injured civilians, led to the consolidation of the population around the Ayatollah. And what happened next? In Iran, the protests were forgotten for a full 6 months. Only towards the end of the year, amid a worsening of situation, did unrest break out, which also quickly suppressed. Which was also quickly suppressed. But this time too, Pahlavi was being pushed to the top of the instigation of the Israelis. What are we getting at? The point is that the position of the U.S. and Israel, judging by their actions, has not been changed. And miscalculations in the previous planning led to failure. Why are they confident of success now using the same old methods? Good point. Doesn't seem like they've changed their strategy from last time. An evacuation of the people from the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, has begun. There are also new explosions. Where'd it go? There are also new explosions in Abu Dhabi. The UAE may be drawn into military action due to a U.S. attack on Iran. According to the Wall Street Journal, as a result, the city's economic model of prosperity, which relies on attracting wealthy foreigners to the city, could collapse. I'll add that this is why the Gulf states did not want this. This really ruins Israeli and Saudi plans that the Middle East is a stable place to do business, which is critical for a post-oil economy. Qatar Airways cancels all its flights. Rockets are falling near the Burj Dubai area. Reports of injuries after deaths among American soldiers in Bahrain. Wow. So it seems like the American deaths are confirmed in Bahrain. It's unfortunate. Okay. Where are we at? Again, let me make this clear. There's no confirmation on this. Missiles intercepted over Dubai. Sirens over northern Israel. What else is new? Iranian ballistic missiles that target Prince Sultan Air Base. Yeah, guys, we've been going for almost 3 hours now. Yeah, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Help support the channel. I'll keep going as long as I can. But probably gonna have to go to bed eventually. But yeah, hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button too. Help support this channel. Help support this video. Hit the bell notification as well so you don't miss another live stream. and you're going to want to have to hit the always option on the bell notification. Once you click on the bell notification, it'll ask you if you always want to get notifications. Hit that. I'm probably going to go live tomorrow or today again, and tomorrow as well. If things continue to spiral in this direction, so you don't want to miss a live stream. We might have a special guest or two popping in as well. Breaking: there are casualties as a result of the Iranian missile strikes against the U.S. base in Abu Dhabi. Here we go. Man, this sucks. We all knew this was going to happen. In a brief call just after 4 a.m. Saturday, President Trump said his main concern is freedom for the Iranian people. All right. Well, we heard that speech. U.S. aerial refuelers in Israel lift off. Where are we at? Things just refreshing, out of control. Arrivals to the IRGC base in Damavand. I think this is the Iranian. I think this is Tehran. Damavand. Iran is still trying to bomb the U.S. assets in the UAE. I wonder what the UAE is going to do in retaliation. What can they do? Let's see here. Iran launched ballistic missiles at all Persian Gulf countries except Oman. Is everyone gonna flee to Oman now? Is that what's going to be the move? Like, if you're living in Dubai, like, Oman is what, like an hour drive away from you to the border? That's what I would do. I'll just drive to Oman if I were like in Dubai or like the UAE or Saudi. I don't think Saudi borders Oman though. I could be mistaken. I know UAE does. But yeah, that's the move. You would anticipate to see like a flood of people from all those Gulf countries just coming into Oman. Direct hit in Dubai. The IDF attacked the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and Iranian President Pezeshkian Barak Ravid. And according to Iranian media, both have survived. Here's the thing, like, why is, I mentioned this at the start of the show. Why the hell, if you're Iran, why the hell do you have your president just sitting in the palace to begin with, the presidential palace? Why is he not already in a bunker somewhere? You're not already martial law on the streets. Like, surely they can't be that naive. More than a dozen U.S. warships are in the region supporting military operations against Iran. The vessels include the aircraft carriers USS Abe Lincoln and USS Gerald R. Ford, multiple destroyers, and several littoral combat ships positioned near the Strait of Hormuz and in the Arabian Sea. Breaking: to all the people inside or around military industrial factories and military infrastructure throughout Iran, you are in the vicinity of weapons and installations that are dangerous. Dear citizens, for your safety and health, we ask you to leave these places immediately and remain outside these areas until further notice. So I'm presuming this is the IDF. IDF has announced a major reserve call-up and is reinforcing forces across all sectors. U.S. tankers over Israel. Yeah, so now it looks like it's confirmed. UAE news agency. One person killed as rocket shrapnel falls on residential area in Abu Dhabi. One person was killed in Abu Dhabi after the UAE intercepted Iranian missiles. Reuters reported the UAE said this attack is a flagrant violation of national sovereignty and international law. They added that they reserve the full right to respond to this escalation. Oh, so the UAE is going to respond now. My mind went blank while reading that. This took me a while to digest. U.S. official to Fox News, Israel is targeting Iranian leaders. U.S. is targeting military targets. The 1-2 punch, huh? More sirens activated across Israel. Breaking news. Command and control structure in the IRGC, the army, and the police are fully intact. Many assassination attempts were foiled, and the armed forces are responding to the American Zionist aggression according to the pre-planned directives issued by the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it's going as planned so far. Ooh, 140. What is that? ZAR. That's a South African currency. I don't know how much that is in USD, but thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it, VDM. Thank you, my friend. Airlines are gunning it out of Israel. CNN decided to offer some curious analysis about the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran. What was the analysis? It is now generally accepted that the decapitation strikes in Iran did not work, and CNC functions remain unaffected by the early morning strikes. Tonight is going to be a very bad night for Israel and other U.S. forces if something does not change. Yeah. And there's not going to be another timeout. They're not going to be able to do another timeout like they did last time. So could get ugly. You guys are saying that was a $9 super chat? Well, I mean, I do appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. The peacekeeper is at it again. The talks with Iran were just a cover. Everyone knew that. Yep, pretty much. All a psyop. Pretty telegraphed, too. For the first time in 4 hours, Israel's home front command says people can leave their shelters. So the strikes have ceased so far. The Russian embassy in Iran is urging Russian citizens to urgently leave the country. What happened? Let them stay a little longer with their friends. Okay, according to Axios, the IDF carried out strikes targeting senior Iranian military and political regime leaders, including Ali Khamenei and President Masoud Pezeshkian. Reuters reports that several senior IRGC commanders and political officials were killed in the joint U.S.-Israeli strikes. Oh, we have another super chat. Thank you, DBU D Bus Semi. 1949. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate it. In the words of gallant Lord Farquaad, some of you may die, but that's the chance I'm willing to take. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Reports Iran is targeting both the Mufi Assault and Silk air bases in Jordan. Right now, the only safe country is Oman. That's what I'm saying. When you're going to see a scramble to Oman now, that's what I would do if I was there. Just try and get out in general. But yeah, if I was like in Dubai or something, I'll just drive to Oman. Iranian sources reportedly tell Reuters several senior Revolutionary Guard commanders and political figures killed in U.S.-Israeli strikes. So we're getting conflicting reports. Seems like Reuters and Axios are reporting on some being killed and others not. Oh, wow. The U.S. just struck the residence of the former Iranian president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. But this contradicts what we just read earlier. I thought the U.S. was only targeting military targets and Israel was the one targeting the officials. It is likely that the U.S. is trying to eliminate possible candidates for political continuation of the Iranian Islamic Republic of system of government. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Like all this news, it's all contradictory. It's all over the place. This is what you get. This is what we saw at the start of the Ukraine war, too. It was just all over the place. You don't know what to believe. So discernment is key at this point. Thank you for the super chat, Eric Orlowski. I do appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for staying up. More sirens in Kuwait. It's back on like Donkey Kong in Kuwait. Let's see. Oh, we got to the top. Uh-oh, now it's refreshing. According to an Israeli journalist citing Israeli sources, Israel attempted to assassinate. Okay, so we read this. Irani sources say that the president is safe, but I didn't see anything on Khamenei. But we will assume that he's also safe. ... There were no casualties in the Iranian attacks on U.S. military bases in the Gulf. American officials told Fox News. Okay, so we thought that there was a casualty at, what was it, the Bahrain base or the Qatar base? It seems that that's not the case. So no casualties so far, according to officials, that is. Following a situation assessment, the Homefront Command issued a directive that is permitted to leave the protected area, but it is recommended to continue staying close to protected spaces across the country. I mean, that was a pretty short-winded alert on Israel's part. What is this? Update on Iran's response to U.S.-Israeli attacks. 4 U.S. bases in Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain have been targeted by Iran's attacks. The U.S. and Israel have attacked a wide range of military and defense targets, as well as civilian sites in various cities across Iran. Iran's foreign ministry said in a statement, adding that the attacks come while Iran and the U.S. were in the midst of a diplomatic process. So what is this footage of? Let's see. Yeah, this looks like Iran. Doesn't look like a Gulf state. The violence and the violence and arbitrariness of the Iranian regime are the reason for current. This is from a Ukrainian diplomacy in an official state. What? Ukrainian diplomacy in an official statement? So a Ukrainian diplomat is blaming Iran here. I see. Thank you for educating us. Ukrainian diplomat. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said, with divine help, the confrontation with the aggression of the criminal American army and the child-killing Zionist regime has begun with the implementation of the first phase of Operation True Promise 4. Through extensive attacks carried out by the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran on regional targets of the aggressor enemy, the Revolutionary Guard Corps missiles and drones targeted the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain and other bases in Qatar, in the UAE. In addition, where'd it go? Huh? I was reading that. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. The Revolutionary Guard's missiles and drones targeted the headquarters, blah, 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 with powerful strikes. The missiles and drone attacks on forces of the Republic of Iran are ongoing, and further information will be announced later. Thank you for the super chat, Ian. I do appreciate it. Subscribed after your Doomberg game. Thanks for this. Rest up when you can. Hey, man. Look, I was probably going to stay up anyways, just on my phone, just keeping up with this stuff. So I may as well live stream to you guys as well. So I appreciate super chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying up late too. Okay, let's see. All right, what have we got here? Okay, so just some conjecture here. I'm going to put it out there, even if it's only rumors at this stage, that the U.S. Abe Lincoln has been hit by an Iranian missile. Maybe I have a, but if it's true, it would be remiss not to mention. However, take it with a grain of salt and blame the conspiracy hopeful mailman. Okay. More video on strikes on U.S. breaking initial reports. The IRGC commander in chief. Oh, snap, they did kill him. The IRGC commander in chief, Mohammed Pakpour, has been assassinated. So I guess they were able to kill one of the leaders. Hit the nuke button. I mean, the like button, everyone already. And to the channel too. Don't miss an episode. Hit the bell notification as well. Boost us in the algorithm. But yeah, don't nuke the stream. Don't nuke the stream. No nukes, just likes. Like the smash button. Or smash the like button. Or something. Okay. At least 2 Iraqi Hashd al-Shabi fighters were killed and 3 seriously wounded in airstrikes in Jurf al-Sakar, south of Baghdad. A popular mobilization force spokespersons told Reuters the PMF, also known as, anyways, I don't know. It went away. What is this? It's a tweet? Okay. What's up? Forces and missile range. U.S. troops across the Middle East are which of Tehran's missile, Before the U.S. Israeli strikes, Bloomberg Economics' Becca Wasser highlighted 3 key risks: attacks on bases and personnel, threats to naval forces, and pressure on munitions supply. So what is this? Border ranges. Yeah, so pretty, I mean, you're looking all the way out to the very edges of Ukraine as well. Yeah, pretty much the entire Middle East is fair game. Iran-backed popular mobilization forces confirm 2 deaths after Israeli strikes struck a PMF base south of Baghdad. Fox News, where is it? Fox News in the U.S. claims that there are no injuries among U.S. as a result of the Iranian strikes on our bases. My view is the U.S. pulled everyone out of the bases before attacking Iran, but we will know more in time. That makes sense. People have begun leaving Tehran en masse. That's the same thing that happened in Kiev in 2022. Strikes were also carried out against Erbil Airport. So that's in Iraqi Kurdistan. Erbil Airport was attacked. It is the largest American military base in Iraq since the withdrawal of American troops from Ain al-Assad Air Base. Map of U.S. military presence in the Middle East. Yep. So everything in red is U.S. controlled, base in operation for the last 15 years. So these are all the bases they're hitting. Iran names. Okay. Any new stuff? Did we get to the top? All right, let's see what's on X. Pax Gold. Oh, back down south of 5,500. Still not bad. 54.96. All right. We've already gone through all this stuff here. Go back. All right. Let's do a search on X here. Danny is better than the mainstream. Yeah, I am. I am better than the mainstream. I am the live stream. Did you guys laugh? Are you not entertained? Let's see here. All right, we've got another map of all the military bases. Yeah, there's the Kuwait one right here, Bahrain right here, UAE right here. Oman is all the way down here. Yeah, it does border Saudi Arabia, like I thought. DBU SCEMI. Thank you for the super chat again, my friend. If Iran falls, the West becomes Palestine. Interesting take. Thank you for the super chat. Friend, long time chat. Hope you're doing well. Brandon was one of my earliest followers on the channel back when I had like less than 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for the super sticker. I do appreciate it. right. Let's see what else we got here. Iran calls its military response to the so it's Operation True Promise 4. Has this not refreshed? What is the app not refreshing now? What's going on? All right, let's get back to X here. We've seen this. Okay, I think it's refreshed now. Air defense systems activated in the Iranian capital of Tehran. They hit something big, all right. I wonder what this is in response to. Iranian, okay. We've already gone through this Trump speech. So I guess we're waiting. Okay, new update. All right, let's go. Breaking news. British Foreign Ministry says, due to the reports of missile attacks, British citizens in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE should immediately take shelter in their accommodations. Missiles are being launched from Iran towards the Gulf and Israel. Gee, you think? Hey, guys, you might want to take shelter. You got some boom booms coming your way. You might want to take some shelter. You know what's good for you. All right. What else we got here? One person died in Abu Dhabi after Iranian missiles were intercepted. In Bahrain, people run through the streets in panic after Iranian missile strikes. An American military base there is also on fire. Reports of explosions are coming in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh. There's also other news, as reported by Reuters. Several IRGC commanders and officials have been killed in strikes on Iran. All right. That is it. But it is what it is. A new wave of Iranian, I was going to say Iranian ballistic missiles towards Beersheba, Israel. So what is now the fourth wave or fifth wave or something? Yeah, this is probably going to be ongoing nonstop all weekend at least. Visgrad24 says enemies of the West must be remigrated to their homelands. But you do know a war in the Middle East will probably create more refugees. So, which is what this guy supports. Strikes confirmed at Iraq, Iran, Israel, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. Unconfirmed / most likely fake. Okay, so still no confirmation on the Saudi side of things. Yeah, Saudi would be huge. Even though Saudi has been favorable of a strike on Iran, still be a big deal nonetheless. Saudi is kind of like Turkey. They're trying to play both sides with respect to BRICS and the Western order. They're both part of BRICS, and they maintain good relations with America and the West. So they're kind of like Turkey in that regard. And they did make up with Iran vis-a-vis through China. So they're trying to maintain good relations with China. And I would anticipate the last thing they want to do is sour that relationship that China was able to cultivate. So It'll be interesting to see what happens with Saudi. Oh, snap. We have someone in Saudi Arabia in the chat. So it says, I am in Saudi. I'll put your comment up here. I'm in Saudi. Yes, I confirm. East Riyadh, loud sound. Wow. Never mind then. So I guess it is. You heard it here first, folks. Better than the mainstream. The CapitalCosm live stream. Explosions in breaking more drones / missiles launched towards the Gulf and Israel. Okay, so this is from the Belgorod region. 2 people were injured as a result of Ukrainian shelling, according to local authorities in the village of, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, I'm not going to try and pronounce that either, district. A man and a woman sustained mine blast injuries and multiple shrapnel wounds to various parts of their bodies after munitions landed on the property of a private home. They were taken to the hospital for helpful. Hmm. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic will continue its implementing directives and strikes at multiple arenas simultaneously as long as necessary. Well, it's going to take a while. In connection with the escalation of the situation in the Middle East, we remind you of the emergency phone numbers and hotlines of the Russian missions. Okay, so what is this? Colonel Kassad? The Russian ministry called on Russian citizens to leave Iran. Yeah, they called on pretty much every country called on its citizens to leave Iran in the last 24 hours. So this is pretty well telegraphed. I'm assuming if they knew, then Iran probably knew as well, unless their intelligence is just super shoddy, which I highly doubt. Okay, let's see here. The Houthis are waking up. Iran's retaliatory strikes are a perfect opportunity to remind everyone that the shipping in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait is not entirely safe. 2 high-ranking Houthi officials told the Associated Press that missile and drone attacks on Red Sea shipping lanes will resume soon. After a prolonged period of silence, the escalation in the region is a perfect opportunity to remind everyone of their presence. According to one of the Houthi officials, the rebels' first attack could begin as early as this evening, and although the Americans have long been negotiating arms deal, Somaliland, given its strategic location relative to Yemen, the Houthis will certainly have time to fire off some of their remaining missiles and drones at first. Yeah, so I mean, we were getting pretty overwhelmed with the Houthis earlier last year, so it looks like they're going to be reactivated pretty soon. Second wave was detected. Okay, breaking news. Saudi Arabia condemns the Iranian aggression against the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. Missiles are flying directly over Dubai's elite Dubai Marina district. Incidentally, there are currently around 50,000 Russian tourists in the UAE. Yeah, that's one thing you'll notice about the UAE. I was in the UAE about a year ago, and jam-packed with Europeans and Russians in particular, and Ukrainians too. Alerts all over central Israel. Footage of landings in the okay. Explosions in Abu Dhabi. Red alerts in Tel Aviv. Something was struck in Abu Dhabi just now. Okay, we'll stick with it, see what it is. Okay, so DD Geopolitics put out her analysis. It's a long one. I don't know if I can read all of it. In a geopolitical context where the U.S. and Israel have initiated a campaign Operation Epic Fury and Operation Lion's Roar for Israel with the explicit goal of regime change, the situation has moved beyond traditional deterrence into a high-stakes struggle for survival. Here's the hypothetical scenario analysis of the escalation and the strategic odds for Iran. The scenario: escalate to de-escalate. Iran's strategic doctrine in this scenario relies on the concept of asymmetric escalation, facing a direct threat to its government. Tehran's goal is to make the cost of continuing the war so astronomical that the U.S. and Israel are forced to accept a ceasefire rather than pursue a total collapse of the state. The retaliatory first wave scenario. In this case, Iran utilizes its vast missile and drone inventory, the largest in the Middle East, to saturate Israeli and American defenses, targeting rather than just military bases. Oh, go away. Oh. Iran targets critical infrastructure, desalination plants in Israel, oil refineries in the Gulf, and the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. The intent: by crippling the global oil supply, leading to an immediate spike in gas prices towards $200 a barrel, Iran aims to trigger a global economic panic that pressures Washington to stop. You see, here's the thing with all these scenarios. Like, we already did the ceasefire stuff 6 months ago. Look how well that worked out. Like, you're just buying, it's not solving the issue. Uh-oh. Closing the choke points, scenario number 2. The IRG's Navy deploys swarm tactics and smart mines in the Strait of Hormuz by effectively closing the strait through which 20% of the world's oil flows. Where is it? Oil flows. Iran creates a hostage situation for the global economy. Thank you for the super chat, Udicini. I do appreciate it. Thank you for watching so late. Or I guess is that an Australian currency? Maybe not so late. What time is it in Australia right now? 5:37 p.m. probably, or something like that. I'm not sure. Scenario number 3, the axis of resistance. Oh, what is this? Oh, so here's some footage of the Israeli bomb shelters. Let's take a look. See you. Okay. I think you guys get the idea. It looks like they're probably out of their shelters by now, according to the most recent reporting. Several explosions were reported near Abu Dhabi's main airport. Yep. They struck Mahmoud Ahmadinejad's former house. No confirmation. It seems like he's still alive. Israeli Channel 13, Iran has launched 35 ballistic missiles toward Israel since the morning. Seems like more of the missiles were launched towards the Gulf countries. Sirens in Tel Aviv, explosions in Abu Dhabi. Let's see here. Is this footage from Ahmadinejad's house? Yeah, reports coming in. Let's see.
دنبال بچه‌تون بالا.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's weird that they're targeting him because he's not been in politics for over a decade now. It's been 13 years since he was president. So, like, do they think he's going to have like some sort of resurgence into the government? Breaking news: Israeli assessment indicates that the attempt to assassinate Iran's supreme leader Khamenei and the Iranian president has failed. From Channel 15. Reports of massive traffic jams coming out of Dubai. France is censoring more so now. What else is new? Let's see. Long queues of vehicles in Dubai as people leave the city. Yeah, so evacuations out of Dubai. Yeah, Dubai seemed like it was in a bubble. It's like how much further can the Dubai bubble expand? And now you've got this. This might just prick the bubble over there. There's a big wealth gap in Dubai too. Like you're either really rich or you're like getting paid $100 a month, essentially. In Dubai, there are huge kilometer-long queues of cars waiting to exit the cities. In Abu Dhabi, explosions were again heard near the city's main airport. Air defense systems shoot into the sky after U.S. airbase in Erbil, Iraqi Kurdistan, was struck. Commander of the Central Qatam Al-Anbiya Airport, headquarters. These operations will continue without interruption until the decisive defeat of the enemy. I don't know where that is. So they could not get to, so it appears they could not get to the president or the Ayatollah, but they can get to 5 random schoolgirls. They had enough time for that, I suppose. Okay. So this is breaking news from ABC. The massive strikes conducted by the U.S. and Israel on Saturday, dubbed Operation Epic Fury by American forces, have been in the works for over the past several months leading up to the attack, according to the Israeli officials. So yeah, like everything leading up to these talks, it's all kayfabe. It's all pro wrestling. It was all fake. You know, uh, Trump was Trump was trained by the best by Vince McMahon, WWE. He knows how it works. He knows how to play it up. So that's what it was. It was all a ruse. Okay, so now they're saying Iranian army commander Amir Hatami is safe and not harmed. So we thought he was dead. It seems like he's still alive. According to the Iranian army. A U.S. Israeli strike killed 5 primary school students in Minab, state news agency IRNA reported. Not good. Oh, you got a new update. What is this? Global reaction to the escalating, blah, blah, blah. Who cares what these idiots have to say? Flight Radar 24 showed planes leaving Iranian airspace this morning. Emirati media says rocket attacks have targeted the infrastructure of the U.S. Navy in Abu Dhabi. Let's see. What is this like? Read all these tweets. So Dmitry Medvedev says the peacekeeper is at it again. The talks with Iran were just a cover. Everyone knew that. So who has more patience to wait for the enemy's sorry end now? The U.S. is just 249 years old. The Persian Empire was founded over 2,500 years ago. Let's see what happens in 100 years or so. So Dmitry Medvedev, the prime minister of Russia, said this. He's kind of like Russia's Lindsey Graham. Putin is more reserved. He's the good cop. Dmitry Medvedev is the bad cop. He's the war hawk. The rule STO. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate it. Danny, better than the mainstream. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thanks for watching. Okay, so European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas. The latest developments across the Middle East are perilous. Iran's regime has killed thousands in ballistic missiles and nuclear programs, along with support for terror groups, pose a serious threat to global security. The EU adopted strong sanctions against Iran, and I don't feel like clicking on her tweet. Probably nothing substantial. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam to Hezbollah: we will not allow anyone to drag Lebanon into adventures that threaten its security and unity. Ukrainian Foreign Ministry: current developments in Iran are caused by the actions of its regime. So there you go. That's what the world leaders are saying. What is this? Oh, yeah. Flight Radar 24 showed how aircraft were leaving Iranian airspace this morning. Let's see. Is it anything particular? What's so special about it? Oh, they're all avoiding. All right. That's neat, I guess. Israel's Home Front Command says it's all clear. Settlers can leave the bunkers. So it must be kept in mind that Iran's response this time was immediate. This also means that the waves were more sporadic and smaller in number of missiles. If Iran gets time to stage a larger attack, it will be carried out, likely at night. So yeah, nighttime is in 12 hours. So If you're on the East Coast, that's like what, 5 o'clock? Or no? Yeah, 5 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. I'm gonna go get some Z's. Like I said, I'll probably do another one of these tomorrow, see if I can get a special guest for us as well from the geopolitical side of things. But yeah, hit the bell notification so you don't miss tomorrow's live stream if I do go live, or the day after's live stream. And make sure it's set to always. And subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this podcast. And I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching.